Hi, I'm Rachel.
And I'm Matt.
And this is
We are all Kosh.
a Babylon 5 podcast.
We have always been here.
It's kind of like Relate, but it's also kind of not like Relate because technically speaking, it releases on Monday. So, like, Sunday is a gift.
Today's Monday.
Today is Monday. We're going to talk about Season 3, Episode 2, Convictions. What convictions do you think they're talking about?
Maybe what the guy gets after the end of this episode?
It kind of feels like
Multiple convictions?
multiple convictions. And or it was
The principles.
his conviction that he needed to. What was he doing? Why was he bombing the station? What was the motivation there?
Because there was a conspiracy to keep him down by giving him bad performance reviews.
I know we say incel energy like every other episode, but it felt a little like
I wrote that down.
incel energy. Yeah, I definitely wrote that towards the end where I was like, oh no, did mommy not let you fail? And now you think when you fail, it's actually malice and not just a thing that
Accountability
happens?
feels like oppression if you've never experienced it.
Yeah, correct. That's exactly, I think that may be the better theme of this episode than the description. For someone who's never
Accountability / oppression.
It feels like it feels like deliberate malice, like malice of forethought. You fired me because I wasn't doing my job. You should have kept me on. Well, you weren't doing your job. Yeah, but I deserve my
But that's
job.
mean.
You know, I know every once in a while it comes up, and I know Atlas Shrugged gets a really bad reputation, and I recognize that there's a lot of terrible things about Atlas Shrugged, but every once in a while shit pops in my mind, and I'm like, oh, that's really apropos. And the part where one of the characters, their mother keeps asking them to give their brother a job.
Yep.
And he's like, why? He doesn't have any skills that I need. And she's like, yeah, but he deserves a job. And the guy's like, well, he doesn't actually deserve a job at where I've given him other jobs and he won't do them. And you want me to, and she's like, it's because it's not a good enough job.
Qualified for.
Yeah, she's like, it's
But
not
I'm
a good
not going to
enough
give
job.
him a job he's not qualified for because I run my company with qualified people.
Yeah, like I can't just put him in a position. I already give him money. And she's
Right.
like, no, but he needs to have a job so that he can feel
Productive.
productive. And he's like, well, he doesn't want to feel productive because he doesn't do any of the jobs that I give him. Anyway, it's kind of how this felt when he's like, but I earned that job or I didn't earn that job, but I still wanted it. And then they let me go. And then I came to Babylon 5 and now I'm bombing shit.
If he put as much work into his regular day job as he did into preparing this whole bomb scare thing, he probably would have kept his job.
He had a job.
He
He
actually
came to
has the
Babylon
job.
5 with a job that gave him quarters. I mean, he had a place to live. He had a regular job that was so important. He had access to the reactor. He had a very high level, very well, he had a good fucking job.
Right? And he was decent at it.
And he was paying the bills. And he was like, well, I still feel like I deserve
He
more.
just got red pilled.
I guess. I don't know. You know why?
Or
this
black
guy,
pilled.
you know why this guy's a bomber?
Why?
It's because this episode was released November 13th, 1995. And April 19th, 1995 is the Oklahoma City bombing. And Ted Kaczynski, or the Unabomber, is also active in the 90s. So for some reason in the 90s, white dudes decided to bomb shit a lot. They still do, but they used to do too. But they did it a lot in the 1990s in particular. Like the Oklahoma City bombing just happened.
Okay.
And it was huge and horrific. And I think it might actually still be one of the largest domestic terrorist attacks on the U.S., depending on how you define domestic terrorism. So that's obviously in the zeitgeist. And so this is sort of a reference to the things that are happening in the larger world at the time. Yeah. This had a P5 rating of 7.75. I did a couple people, because again, I'm paring that down just to because Matt's eyes glaze over while I'm sitting here describing all this stuff. So I'm trying to keep it moving. Notably, the guy who plays the bomber, for lack of a better word, the B-5 bomber guy, the Unabomber guy, is Patrick Kilpatrick. Do you think it's his stage name, or do you think his name is literally Patrick Kilpatrick?
Oh, it could be a legit
name. It feels
Yeah.
like his parents were like, Patrick? I mean, then it'll rhyme. Anyway, he's Ray Booth in The Stand, the miniseries of The Stand. Before this, actually, because I think The Stand's 1993. The one with,
Gary Sinise.
Yeah, Gary Sinise, but also he played in Parks and Rec. He plays in Rob Lowe. Rob Lowe. Ray Booth is the guy that beats up Rob Lowe.
Okay.
And then Morishi, the random bomb expert that we only meet in this episode and then never meet ever again.
Like the head guy in Mortal Kombat?
Yeah, he's Shang Tsung in Mortal Kombat. And I think he does the voice in pretty much every Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's in the movie.
Yeah.
And he was in The Phantom with Billy Zane, right up there with Wing Commander as one of the best movies of the 90s. And he was in Alien Nation.
He was in a ton of stuff.
Yeah, he was in a ton of stuff.
R.I.P. He passed away last year.
Yeah. All right. So the scenes in MedLab feature a mock-up of Bill Mummy. It's a dummy Bill Mummy. It's a Bill Mummy dummy. Because his father had recently passed and he didn't think he could cope with doing those scenes. Because he didn't want to lie there almost dead after his dad had just died. I get it. Andreas Katsoulis was not aware that it was a mock-up of Lanier, and he congratulated Bill Mummy on how still he managed to be. I'd have been like, thank you.
He did have to lay still for an extended period of time at some point for them to get the face mold.
Oh, that's true.
So,
yeah. And then he had to do it at the end when he actually wakes up.
Completely meaningless.
Yeah. I mean, he does wake up at the end and he's in the bed, so he had to do that part too. Lanier claims to be suffering from Netter's syndrome to get away from the obnoxious man. And Netter's syndrome is a reference to the executive producer, Douglas Netter. Mm-hmm. And actually, the obnoxious man is a cameo by one of the cinematographers.
Oh.
So they were like, hey, you want to be in it? And he was like, yeah. And then they gave him the script and he was like, oh, fuck you, I'm sure. And it makes you wonder, was it like a prank? Was it so opposite of his usual personality that it was funny? Or was it so like his usual personality it was funny?
Maybe they didn't even give him a script. They just said, just sit next to Bill here.
Be obnoxious.
We're just framing up the shot. And we just need a body to sit in so we can get things lined up. And just say, just feel free to chat to him.
You got
so that
this.
way you're moving and
and
we get enough buffer on the edges of the frame. And then they just shot that and kept it.
I mean,
that's my headcanon.
I go with it. Yeah. They gave him that shirt, and the shirt, he was like, oh, I know what kind of guy wears this shirt. Mm-hmm. And then he just went from there. I mean, I respect it.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably exactly how that went down. Really, the best part of this episode is that it starts off with some good old-fashioned religion mocking. I don't know how to describe what he does. So if you listen to Becoming Superman, like I did, you know that JMS has a really complicated relationship with religion. Mm-hmm. And so it's very interesting how often he includes religious overtones in his themes.
Right, as almost like a criticism for the fanatical
both
aspect
in praise
of,
and criticism.
Yes,
it can go either way.
Religion.
It can go
of organized and unorganized religion.
Yeah, he really pokes fun at everyone in equality, which is why it's fine. I don't really give a shit. I do like the the answer to our question about whether or not this was some sort of collective religious experience for everyone on Babylon 5. And yes, it was, because they are actually getting pilgrims who come here to absorb the holiness of the place where their holy being appeared. Because Kosh, you know what? Kosh can make himself look like anything. Could he have made himself look like nothing? Or just a generic ball of light?
Probably.
Or does he have to appear as something? Can he not completely cloak his own beingness?
My understanding of it is the psychic presence of the psychic imprint of the Vorlons.
Yeah.
Is baked into I don't know, the cultural mind,
Yeah. But what if
the cultural subconscious of each species individually?
Yeah. Do they update? Do they do security updates? Oh yeah, we're not all about
or it's just it's baked into if you're experiencing this psychic signal, it activates the part of your brain that is associated with your perception of higher being.
I believe that more because I believe the Vorlons believe in automation. And I think that's more automated.
Yeah.
Because otherwise they'd be like, fuck, they killed a guy on this piece of wood, and now we got to go all the fucking way out there and update the software for this new douchebag. This fucking sucks. And then you have to do that for every single race and every new race. What about races? I mean, is it what's his name in Jurassic Park, where he's there for the birth of every single dinosaur on this island? Are they going around to every single race that's developing?
Hell yeah.
And just be missionary protectivaing them, downloading information each and every single time? Or, okay, I guess it really stems from how does life evolve on each planet? Because if you subscribe to the there is one single-celled organism that effectively seeded all of the planets with life, and then that is what eventually evolves into each different race, then all they have to do is put it in the root code effectively. They have to just make sure. Did they do it?
Ooh.
They're so old. It really, okay, I'm sorry. This can spiral because the way JMS sets it up is there's tiers of sentient life. So you have sentient life that is literally millions of years old. And then you have the newer races, and we don't really get a sense that it's a scaling event, that it's all of these guys evolved at one time, all of these guys evolved at effectively the same amount of time. They go to space at different rates, but they're still effectively the same age of race. Yeah, that's a really good question, because then you could effectively have one entire group is evolved from a different organism. And then it's multiple panspermia events where every once in a while the universe ejaculates on itself or something. And then everybody comes from that particular seed. And so literally the Vorlons are an entirely other species. They don't even have the same base code that everybody else does. I mean, that all the newer races do anyway. Okay, I'm going to drop that because that is a thing we could probably talk about for hours. And so...
Oh, yeah. I was about to bring Mass Effect into it.
You're you know what? You can always bring Mass Effect into it. It's fine. I've never played Mass Effect, but I slept on the couch next to you while you played many hours of Mass Effect. It's funny because it's one of the ones that I think of as a video game you just played, but it was for sure more than 10 years ago that you played through those.
Yep. I remember getting Mass Effect Andromeda when it came out, and I got a PS4 almost specifically to play Mass Effect Andromeda because I had played through the Mass Effect trilogy on the PS3.
Oh my God, they were PS3 games?
Yeah, they were.
I'm always shocked. I'm shocked. Final Fantasy 12 is my favorite Final Fantasy of all time. I will brook no argument on this. At me, bro. You can program your characters. The Gambit system was just ahead of its time. That's all. That's the only problem with it.
But it was a PS2 game.
It's a PS2. I know. Matt was like, well, it is a PS2 game. I was like, shut the fuck up. It was not. And you were like, yeah, no, it totally is. It's like when you replayed Shadow of the Colossus.
Oh, yeah. I played Shadow of the Colossus PS1 game.
When it came out. And we were like, wow, this is beautiful. And then
right?
you were playing it again. And
then they did a full remake of it for PS4. And I was like, oh, yeah, it looks the same. And then I was reading an article about it.
No, we were watching a side-by-side comparison. And we were like, oh, no. Is that what the old one looked like?
We were filling in all the details.
Oh, no. Oh, my God.
Well, they hit the vibe on the remake.
Well,
so
you know what?
They hit the aesthetic.
Our ability to discern detail and computer-generated images has gotten better because we were exposed to more of it. So that's all it is. It was just early days. And also, maybe it was the CRT TV.
It had the analog glow from the CRT
Yeah,
screen.
I mean, that warms up literally everything. So anyway, I guess we'll get back to Babylon 5 or whatever. But it's them at the port, you know, the like space place
and there's some
where everybody
Drazi.
lands. You know, it's really interesting because this is a zone that does not age into modern viewership. Because when this was released, you could go meet people at the like when you went to the airport, you just went to the gate.
You could just walk up to the terminal.
You just went to the gate. You waited for your loved one
no
at the gate.
security check.
And then you walked out together. It wasn't... I mean, you went through security, but everybody just...
it wasn't...
It wasn't the same. Even you just walked through some metal detectors. But like everybody could go back there. It was no big deal.
Yeah.
And then after 2001, of course, nobody can go back there. So you have to wait in the like by the baggage area or whatever. And so this is sort of a relic of the time when you can just sit there and wait for your loved one to get off the plane.
Yep.
I think that the utter lack of security in this area is really reminiscent of like, you didn't even think of it. I didn't even think of it as being unsafe. I wasn't like, oh no, somebody could get something through and wait at the gate. You didn't even think about it. And you like, just like you didn't think about cameras, which you can see how he's not thinking of cameras as a security measure in this.
Oh yeah. Every once in a while there will be a drone, but it's pretty much all only for reporters.
We straight up have cameras watching these areas. That's what the brothers look through later. Why he's like, find whoever.
Oh, that's a good point.
Find whoever was there afterwards. And then it's like, okay, but why didn't we review the security footage to see who put the bomb there in the first place? Like if there's already a camera there, could we not just go back and figure out who put the bomb there?
And we've had so many stories in the Babylon 5 series so far that would have been just trivially solved by saying, oh, just pull up the security camera footage.
Yeah, well, what does the security camera say?
But nobody's thinking, oh yeah, there's security cameras everywhere.
Yeah, well, you didn't. Nobody did. You didn't think about it. It didn't even occur to you. I was watching a reel of a lady who was saying how she combats scammers for her like home-based. She does like drop shipping for her own products, whatever. She like makes a product, has it mass produced, sells it, ships it out. And so she literally has a camera on her packaging and she timestamps every single package that she packages. So if somebody claims that they didn't get everything in their package, she can review the footage to see if she actually packaged it.
Oh.
And I was like, that's a really interesting use of that. But that's a thing that like, you just didn't even, it would not have occurred to you that for there to be a camera everywhere. Just like you were not always prepared to be interrupted. You didn't have a phone. There were huge stretches of time where you didn't even think about contacting people.
You were literally unreachable.
You were literally unreachable and you didn't give a shit.
I remember as a teenager, I'd just bike off with a book and go find a tree and lean against the tree and read. And I'd be a couple miles from home. No phone.
No.
No estimated timeline on when I'd be back.
No. And you didn't even think about it. And ironically, you were less safe then than you would be now.
Right.
Well, maybe not now, but you know what I mean. Anyway, back to the missionaries. Oh my God. Actually, we're doing pretty good. We're only 20 minutes in.
So the two Drazi missionaries
Oh, yeah.
arrive at Babylon 5.
Yeah, we are here for the recent visitation by the Drazi higher being. And he's like, yeah, Drabonka. Drashala, whatever. And so my favorite part is he's immediately like, hey, Zach, you handle them. And they start poking Zach. And he's like, please don't do that. I don't like it. Which I respect. I would be like, no touching. And they're like, no, you were visited, and that means you're blessed. Everything is here. Here is blessed. So shouldn't they be like rubbing themselves on literally everything?
Like a cat.
Like cats? Instead, they're just poking him, and he's like, oh, well, you see that plant over there? That was in the garden.
That was actually there. I was not there.
When your people saw Drabawa, they're like, Drashala, and he's like, yeah, whatever. Anyway, it's real close. This is like talking to my mom,
They
actually.
lean into the mispronunciation a little hard.
Because this is like talking to my mom.
And wing wongs?
Yeah, literally every Chinese restaurant is wing mongs, and you cannot get her. It's it. It's baked in. I mean, it would be worse if it was malicious, but it's not. She just literally cannot remember the name of a single Chinese restaurant ever to save her life, and so they are all wing mongs. This is like we had I almost called it the fishbowl, a bird bath. Bird bath. And Mom used it as like, it was in the house and it was her standard drop your shit
It was
space.
at the top of the stairs, doorway into the kitchen.
Everything got dropped in this bird bath. And she called it the fishbowl without fail. If she told you to go check the fishbowl, she meant the bird bath. And you're like, surely at some point she's going to update. Because everyone's like, you mean the bird bath? And she's like, yeah, the fishbowl.
That's what I said.
Yep.
Did I stutter?
So maybe this is a boomer brain damage thing. Like you can kind of remember the shape of the word, but you can't remember the actual word. So you just shoot your shot because you're not worried about being offensive because offense is for pussies. You could just say what you want. So he's like, oh, you mean Drababa? And he's like, yeah, no, Drashala. They only mispronounce it twice, to be fair.
Yeah.
And then they go off to start poking the plant. And then I wrote we did it at the bottom. I got distracted. I just wrote we did it with an exclamation mark, and I don't know what that means. I don't know if it means we watched the episode, whatever. And then we cut to a really interesting shot where they start underneath the floor and they like pan forward and pan down the stairs as Ivanova and Garibaldi are walking down these stairs. Mm-hmm. And we do so much handy cam in this episode, it makes me wonder if we just got a handheld camera.
And compositing. There's a lot of composited shots for depth.
There's a lot of very non-conventional cinematography for Babylon 5 in this particular episode. That shot's a good example. Every time we have like a group shot, there's somebody in the almost extreme foreground where their face is distorted by the lens and then everybody else is in the background.
Yeah.
We do a lot of really dramatic lighting. We do a ton of handy cam where we're holding the camera and there's no steady rig. So it's just a dude with the camera trying to walk real slow. Like heel toe, following all these people around. And I wonder if it was to create a sense of like claustrophobia and immediacy or like intimacy so that the viewer felt more of the anxiety of the bomber plot. Because we don't really have a B plot.
Right, because the handy cam is associated with the...
Like the Blair Witch style.
There's a crisis.
Yeah.
And it makes it feel more personal.
Like the Blair Witch style of like, you're in this with me. Mm-hmm. I'm the viewer behind the camera. You are the viewer behind the camera. We are following these people around. It's like inviting you into the shot. It was a really interesting route to take. I looked up the director, and he actually directed Geometry of Shadows.
Okay.
And he also directed Comes the Inquisitor, which the less said about that one, the better. And he's going to go on and direct a shit ton of episodes throughout each and every season. So he's not new. And I was wondering if we got more of that in some of his earlier ones and I just didn't notice. Also, sometimes I think they get new equipment and they're excited to try it out. That's a little bit what it felt like. Because we do this really cool shot. And then we get Ivanova talking about how they've gotten a bunch of messages that are like, chaos is 4 hours away. Chaos is 3 hours away. Then 2 hours. And Garibaldi's like, okay. And after that, and she's like, no, nothing. I mean, they all came from a public Babcon unit, audio only. We have no cameras, so we couldn't look at see who sent it. Yeah. And Garibaldi's like, meh, sounds like a crank. This is the second time we have had Garibaldi wildly underreact to something in 2 episodes. So we had the Marcus Cole thing where he was like, this guy showed up in a shot up ship, and he basically killed himself to get here, but like, fuck, whatever.
I got more important things to do.
I got an appointment. I got to go. Bye. And then this one where he's like, oh, wait, they were counting down to chaos? Pfft, whatever. What is it, fucking Tuesday? Who gives a shit?
And then I bet the next day he's like, God damn it, I should have followed up on this.
Well, later they're like, how come he hasn't sent us any kind of message? And it's like, he did. He sent you 4 hours worth of messages. He did send you messages.
Yeah.
And no one revisits
Nobody
these messages. None. They don't revisit these at all. We don't do any kind of voice print identification. We don't do any information about where it was recorded to see if anybody saw anybody at the public Babcon station being like, chaos is 4 hours away. Like, no, none. Nobody goes, nothing. We don't revisit this at all. Which is wild to include it and then be like, meh, fuck, whatever. Who cares?
Right.
And then we go down to
down below
where a gang of little people are rooting through the garbage. And I just want to know, what was the thought here? What was where were we going? Were they like, I think they run in packs. I honestly think they run in packs. Look at all the movies we've seen up until now. They all kind of seem to go together, right? I mean, Wizard of Oz, they all live in a town together. Willow, they all live in a town together. I think they just sort of group up, you know what I mean? And no one was like, no, man, that's not okay. They just ran with it.
Yeah.
And here we are, 31 years later, wildly uncomfortable watching these people root around because they're like, find the stuff. We got to sell the stuff. And they're just whatever. And then we go to the intro blissfully because they end up,
one of them crawls into what might be a cage?
Because like the sides fall down, but there's an immediate explosion.
Yeah.
So you don't know. Did he plant this waiting for them to come down there? Or
probably waiting for somebody to rifle through the boxes.
Okay. And I'm not going to revisit the conversation about how we're constantly talking about the limitations of the space on Babylon 5, and yet we have these huge uninhabited zones filled with trash.
Right.
That nobody goes through and nobody knows what's in there, and they're unmonitored, and they're completely just left for people to live in. It's fine. It's fine. We go to the intro, and when we come back, it is Zach talking to somebody. I guess this is our... Zach's going to be a bigger character.
Yeah.
And no, he's talking to this random guy because he's like, we need 10 more guys down here for crowd control.
Oh, the monks do show up.
I mean, they show up. I think that's maybe the next section. I don't know. Whatever. We don't jump ahead. And he's like, listen, before we go, we got another ship in, and I think you better come have a look at this. Yeah, that's what it is. He's like, you know what's actually more important than these homeless people who just died? A ship full of monks.
Yeah, more religious travelers.
I mean, it's fine. There's more people. There are people still working on the bombing, so it's not like they're like, fuck this, we'll come back to it later and just rope it off or whatever. So they go, and this is Brother Theo, and this is actually the Minbari guy who went down to the planet.
Oh, it's the same actor?
It's the same actor. They brought him back as Brother Theo. I think he couldn't reprise his role the last time that we had the planet guy. Because he wasn't feeling well. But then when he recovered, they were like, you want to be Brother Theo? And he was like, hell yeah. And so that's who this guy is. And he's like, we're going to be here for a while. And we just watched Monty Python and the Holy Grail with the kids. And as soon as they walked out with the little hood all the way down, all I could think is the scene where they whack themselves in the head with a board. And then we go to Garibaldi and Sheridan. And this is where they're going through the wreckage
of the Down Below explosion,
which is really bold because none of them are wearing any kind of suits. What is this ship made of? Is anything in here carcinogenic? I mean, that was a problem after 9/11, where a lot of people who were like covered in the ash from the towers ended up having like fatal cancer later. So they're all down. They're just roaming about. It's everything. Shit's on fire. Wires are laying around. And the captain of Babylon 5 is like, oh, hey, everybody. Whoa, shit. I tripped over an arm over here. I think we got a body.
Yeah, this doesn't seem very
no, and there could be more bombs. It's fine. This feels very 1990s. It feels very 1990s. The like, we don't know how bad it can be yet. So we're just like, oh, this is literally the worst possible thing ever.
Yep.
He's like, we found 2 bodies. That's 4 dead so far. And this is another Steadicam moment, by the way, where he's like following him around on the wreckage with the Steadicam. And Doc thinks there might be some live ones in the Rebels, so we're being extra careful. It's true. I watched a documentary on the Oklahoma City bombing.
Mm-hmm.
And I vaguely remember, because I would have been our youngest's age during the Oklahoma City bombing.
Okay.
And I vaguely remember when it happened. And I watched a documentary and they were saying they counted some of the people on the like higher levels just by the like blood silhouettes because they were so completely crushed that they could just tell by the leakage where someone had been. Yeah, I didn't realize it was as bad as it was until I watched the documentary. Probably because I was so young and my parents were like, it's fine. It's fine. Don't think about it. And then of course, I ruined it by reading up on it later. But he like parked right next to the daycare because there was a daycare in the building. Yeah, if you're sensitive at all, don't watch it. But if you want to know more about it, it was horrific. And we've effectively forgotten about it, which is fucking wild because it's not that long ago. Anyway, then they talk about somebody. They're like, she didn't see anything. I don't know who she is. I assume it was the lookout or like, I think they just threw it in there.
Right. Yeah, I think it was supposed to be a bystander that was nearby when it went off.
Yeah, this place is full of old pipe and junk. Any number of things could go wrong. They're like, oh my God, what happened? And he's like, yeah, no, we could have had a reactor leak down here. Somebody lights a match.
Some septic gas gets out.
What? What do you mean? You could store things down here so improperly, you believe it could cause this much of an explosion? Is there a like waste reclaimer leak down here? Is methane leaking into this room?
Do you have a mechanism for how this would happen, or are you just dismissing the risk that someone deliberately bombed it?
Are these areas patrolled at all? Do we come down here at all, guys? Because if something down here you think could possibly cause this amount of an explosion, and literally anyone can walk in here.
Right. And you think there's a reasonable chance that there's just a part of the station where things are so poorly maintained, it can blow up? Is that not a maintenance safety concern?
It's their first go-to. They're like, I mean, it's probably just, it's a maintenance issue.
This station's so old.
3 years. 3 years old. Yeah, I have cars old. All of our cars are older than the station. And they're like, you ruled out a bombing? And he's like, after what we've been through, not a chance. 9 times out of 10, you got a bomb, you got a political statement. But there's nothing here worth blowing up, except the entire station, my man.
Right.
You are on a very politically charged station. I don't know. What do you think? Usually there's a political motivation. Oh, I don't know. How about every single ambassador from every major race, including the League of Non-Aligned Worlds, that live on this station? What do you think would be here to blow up the station itself?
There's nothing important. Right?
He's like, I don't, it's usually politically motivated, but like, meh. I mean, what's here? God, me and my duck dodgers and the motorcycle I never ride and fuck all else, I guess. Londo, the guy who orchestrated the Narn Centauri War, is 2 floors above you, okay? He is. There is a lot of political targets. He doesn't actually target anything political. He just bombs random locations.
Except for the one at the like arrival station where Londo's
but
arriving.
I think that's just, I don't think it's Londo in particular.
I don't think he's targeting Londo in particular.
Or Delenn, because they happen to both be disembarking at the same time.
I think he was just like, here's a populated area.
Yeah. And it was coincidental.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, it's like, sorry I'm late. We had a bit of a problem. This is when Ivanova is talking to Brother Theo. They wrap that up with like, okay, find out if it's a bomb. And Garibaldi is like, cool, I'll find out if it's a bomb. That's how they end that whole scene.
Right.
And we cut to Brother Theo and Ivanova. And I thought this was an interesting scene, slightly because of the content and also because they literally let this man monologue. Almost the entire scene is one guy talking.
Yeah.
Because she's like...
And Ivanova just having very short responses.
Yeah, she's like, hey, so what?
Why?
Why are you here? He's like, oh, yeah, we applied to Earth Dome for permanent resident status on Babylon 5. And I just wrote, why does this warrant a visit from Ivanova?
Right.
Why does this warrant a special meeting?
With the second in command of the station.
Yeah, these people were like, we'd like to live on Babylon 5. And Earth Dome was like, I mean, if you fucking want to, okay.
Right.
So they would have only had to show their permit at customs or whatever.
They had their paperwork filled out.
Yeah, that's not why
is Ivanova intervening?
They had an entire delegation of people who use technology so mystically, it's indiscernible from magic.
Mm-hmm.
And they just set up residence in a random hallway and nobody fucking knew for who knows how long.
Well, I wonder if this was Brother Theo asking for a meeting with Ivanova to offer their services.
Oh, maybe he specifically wanted to inform them that he was going to be there.
Like, we're going to be here. Hey, just so you know, we're here and we're good at shit. If you ever need any consulting work done on literally anything, we can handle it.
Yeah. I brought a bunch of really cool dudes.
Yeah.
So we're good to go. I mean, it makes more sense.
We're all on the critical skills list.
It's not explicitly stated, but it makes more sense if he requested this meeting, because otherwise, like I said, they have had whole ass civilizations. They had some dudes underneath the waste reclaimer that if you gave them a couple of coins, they would give you like a psychedelic religious experience.
Yeah. Who are they?
Are they like a rival? Are they a different franchise? Is this a different monk franchise from the...
Or was it just Kosh's, like a hand puppet that Kosh was operating?
I think that was our conjecture the first time we went through it. Was like, were they actually there? But again, even if they were actually there, they showed up and they are permanent residents, but nobody knew that. Nobody got a permit for that. And he even says, we'll live in down below.
Yeah.
We'll live in the shitty housing.
No big deal.
You guys have an entire section that's just labeled shitty houses. Like, we'll live in the shitty houses. Like, it's even brown sector. Like, it's fine. We'll go there. It's no problem. He's like, my brothers and I are from New Mallory, wherever that is back home. All of our permissions are here from Archbishop Francis, which means he asked Earth Dome, but also the Archbishop is the guy who was like, yeah, they can go. And she's like, you want to live here? And he's like, yeah, it's really fucking cool here. You live here.
There's a lot of cool stuff happening
You
here.
guys saw God the other day, okay? Have you like stepped back for 2 seconds about what you guys have felt? Like a lady who had been missing for over 100 years popped up out of nowhere and was fucking haunted. And for a while, you guys thought she had sucked her husband's organs out through his mouth. That's how wild this place is, okay? Yeah, I want in on the game. He's like, we are here to learn and to teach. And she basically says, okay, but you can't like no door to door, like no harassing people. And he's like, oh no, we're not here for that. We're here to learn.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if we had to go to every single world, it would take us centuries. But if we just sit here, everybody will come to us and we can learn all our stuff in 4 or 5 decades.
Yeah.
Babylon 5 is falling apart already, and it has been 3 years. I really don't think you're going to make it.
Right.
4 or 5 decades, my man. You look on the bottom of Babylon 5, there's just a plaque that says made in the USA.
Best if used before 2265.
It's definitely when it expires. Oh my God. He's like, we're used to being patient, whether it's illuminating manuscripts or programming a system analysis. He pauses really weirdly here, like the actor wasn't sure how to deliver that whole line. Our work is always very detailed. And she's like, I mean, I get it, but I don't get it. You got to leave people alone, though. And he's like, I mean, yeah, of course. We don't have a lot of space, is what she says. And he's like, we'll live in down below. We can pay for modest rooms. We're not used to fancy accommodations. A cot, a table. And then she starts with, I'm going to have a hard time justifying. What do you have to justify? They are going to just rent rooms indefinitely. You have space. You housed, was it 500 Marcabs? How many Marcabs were on Babylon 5?
Hundreds, yeah.
Yeah, you housed hundreds of people in an unused zone, and then you locked them in there to die. They locked themselves in there to die.
Right.
You had room for them. You could just throw a couple of cots and some tables and maybe a mini fridge in there, and you could house any number of monks, really. So it's just funny because there's no consistency in the narrative of the space on Babylon 5. Everything else we're pretty consistent about. But the fact that there are just huge uninhabited sections is fucking wild. Uninhabited and unsecured.
Right. And my impression is they're only like uninhabited because it's just like open areas. They just haven't framed it in and put doors on it.
Yeah.
Like you could turn this empty space into housing with not that much effort, but there's not enough demand. There's not enough resources. Like what's the limitation?
Maybe they were like, maybe this is, so in the US we have a thing where they disincentivize people who are unhoused from sleeping in certain areas by doing stuff like putting spikes.
Hostile architecture.
Yeah, hostile architecture, which just keeps people from being able to sort of...
You can't lay down on the bench because there's a bunch of armrests across the bench. You can't lay down on this slab under a bridge because they put spikes all over the ground.
Yeah, or like they'll be sloped or whatever. The intent is to be hostile towards anyone who wants to use it for a place of rest.
Yeah.
Maybe this is the opposite. Maybe they've realized we are never going to put the money in that it requires to be able to solve the problem of people being unhoused. So what if we just prepare for it by creating horrific places that they can go and live and nobody else wants to live?
Yeah.
We'll put them next to the waste reclaimer where a methane leak could blow them up at any moment. Like, we'll just plan for it.
Yeah.
We know people are going to go to Babylon 5 and not be able to leave Babylon 5, so we'll just plan for that. Because otherwise they would be in the space they'd be in the Zocalo. They'd be, in the hallways. They'd be, because it's a thing that's happening and nobody's solving that problem. So they just give them a place to go that's out of the way for everybody. Which is a solution, not the solution.
Right.
We end this with him being like, we basically have like a bunch of really cool dudes, like biogeneticists, physicists, chemists. And she's like, I mean, why are they here? Like, why would they be monks? And he's like, oh, because they believe. Okay. And then we go back. This is my favorite part because they were like, is it believable that Garibaldi knows about bombs? And they're like, no. And they're like, how about we just pick a random guy?
We have a guy on the security team who's a bomb expert.
Yeah. And his name is Morishi. Right. Okay. That guy. Because they're like, hey, that guy, come over here. And he's like, aye, aye, Captain. He's got the I'm a bomb expert little badge on his chest.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, check this out. And he goes, oh, from the pattern of the debris, I'd say this was the center point for the blast. And they just do a bunch of just like, we know about bombs. We're good at bomb. We can look at the thing and see about the bomb.
You can tell about the bomb by the way it is.
But look, I could tell it exploded by the way it is, by looking at how it be. And he's like, we haven't been able to find anything around that could have caused this naturally.
Organically.
Just, as you do, where things just go every once in a while. What? Garibaldi has had people blow shit up on his watch. Remember when he was a battle-hardened 17-year-old working on the ice mines of Europa? He should be able to recognize
blast marks from a bomb.
Well, remember when he was on the ice mines of Europa and that somebody blew up the landing pad?
Yeah, and framed him. Oh, yeah. But he was a really heavy alcoholic then as a battle-hardened
17-year-old or 19-year-old or whatever he was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, fine. They're like, bomb? Yeah, bomb.
Well, there goes my vacation.
Oh, my God. 1 week off in 3 years. Whoever's behind this has really honked me off now.
The 1 week he had off was when he was in the coma.
Well, isn't that what Morishi says? 1 week in 3 years.
Oh, I don't remember.
I think it's Morishi who says it, okay. But you know what? That is probably the last time Garibaldi had a vacation. All right, listen up. I want this whole area sealed off. It's too late, my brother. It is too late. It's
already contaminated.
Hours. People have come. They've left. Ivanova had
taken
a meeting.
Souvenirs of metal shrapnel.
Whatever ship you thought you could secure, it has fucking sailed off to the horizon. You were questioning the witness. Here. The doctor came. You guys, it's done. It's gone. There's no securing this scene. Whatever. He's like, tell the environmental cleanup they can wait. They were going to come just clean this up. They were literally just like, oh, just in case it was doodle.
One of the periodic random explosions that happens on the station.
Is it like a controlled burn? Every once in a while you have to let part of the ship explode. Because then it burns off all the debris. And then
it makes more room for fresh boxes.
And then if you have another explosion, it's less likely to cause a large explosion because you've been having small explosions throughout the whole time the ship has been in service.
Yeah, then you don't get enough buildup for a big enough explosion to blast a hole in the hull.
To really do anything, to hurt the people who matter, but the people who pay taxes. So they're like, it's fine. Sorry.
All right, and this is where the cameraman is talking to Lanier.
Yes, I'm sorry. For a minute, I was like, through the camera? And I was like, what do we know? That's what I'm talking about. Oh, my God. This is the part where, yes, the obnoxious man is like, I said, Sheila, I said, you change that vid channel one more time. I'm out of here. You got it? And well, I did. She did. I did. Here I am. And then he touches Lanier. You should have seen the look on her face, let me tell you. But it's great. I get to meet all kinds of people. He got kicked out, and now he's traveling the universe? Okay. I mean, look at me sitting next to you, Minbari. Us in that war and all? Not that I held a grudge. No, sir. I mean, this guy's doing a really good job. He is obnoxious. And we've all met this man.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He's like, look, I got hair.
This man introduces himself to everyone.
Oh, yeah. He's like, where are you going? And he goes, home. I have been diagnosed with Netter syndrome. And since I only have 7 days to live, I thought I would return home to put my affairs in order before the end. And he keeps going because the guy's like, oh, Netter syndrome. Oh, my God, I've never heard that one before. And he's like, neither had I. But apparently it's passed by physical contact because the guy just has his hand on his shoulder.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I got to make a call. And I want to point out, whose honor was he saving? Because the Minbari don't lie.
Except to protect
to
someone's
save somebody's
honor.
honor.
Was he protecting his own honor because he was about to do something even more embarrassing?
This is literally the next episode after we had the treatise that was like, the only reason you think that the Minbari lie is because you're dumb and you're not paying attention. And in the first part of this fucking episode, we have him lying for no reason. And I'm sure
lying purely for his own personal convenience.
Yes. Yes, because this guy is so annoying. He could have just said, please stop touching me.
Yeah.
This lying was not the only way out of this. It wasn't even the only way to save face.
Right.
In fact, lying made it less honorable for everyone involved because he completely made up everything about it. He wasn't even actually leaving.
He's not dying. He's not leaving. What happens in like a month when this guy sees him? Oh my God, you're still alive.
Yeah. I got cured. Another lie.
Then, right?
Yeah.
He's going to have to cover up with more lies. And what if he's with someone that's like, oh, your Netter syndrome got better.
Yeah.
And then he's with like Ivanova. What is Netter syndrome? And the guy, oh yeah, he told me he had Netter syndrome and he had 7 days to live and he was traveling back to Minbar to get his affairs in order. And then Ivanova just looks over at Lanier.
I thought Minbari didn't lie.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, if you're paying attention, which you obviously aren't, they will lie to save somebody's honor. Or, because it's Tuesday and they're annoyed at the guy who sits next to them.
Yeah. The same reason anybody lies.
I have no problem with this. I want to be clear about this. I have no problem with this. I think it's funny.
Yeah.
Especially the line afterwards that says, I will do penance later.
Yeah.
This is great. My only issue with this is how aggressively JMS
defends the Minbari.
1995 JMS defended this plot line with literal paragraphs of being like, you only think they lie because you're stupid.
Right.
And then,
I just finished Empire of the Dawn.
Oh no.
I love an unreliable narrator.
I don't want to know about it. Don't tell me anything about it. Nothing.
I'm sneaking hints.
Don't. God.
Implications.
You're going to stress me out and it's going to be even harder for me to read it. My God.
I love an unreliable narrator.
Yeah.
And the Minbari are unreliable narrators.
They are. So lean into it.
And they're aware of it.
Yeah.
Right? It's great. It gives so much depth and humanity.
And if you scoop out
personhood,
that episode where we almost let Sheridan lose his job over the belief that Minbari cannot and will not lie ever under any circumstances, if you just cut that episode out, it's a fine plot line. It's a great unreliable narrator moment where they believe they are better than they actually are.
Yep.
But the minute that they need to lie for their own convenience, they will.
Yep.
That's great. It's fine. I have no problem with that. You just leave out that one episode where it really just took it way too far.
Yeah.
And this is a funny moment.
Oh, yeah.
And then also just let it be unreliable.
Right. And then him just saying, I'll do penance later.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I'm sorry.
Like, I know I did a bad thing. I was getting so overstimulated. I had to make it stop somehow. And I didn't want to hurt the man.
Yes. I mean,
maybe he was protecting that guy's honor.
Yeah. Because he would have beat him up.
Yeah.
You could have just said, please stop touching me, or stop touching me or I will hurt you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fine. What he is there for is to meet Delenn as she is getting off, because she must have gone to Minbar and she's coming back, or wherever she went, because he's just like, how's your journey? And she goes, very productive. And then
hull breach, dropping pressure doors.
Lanier. He saves Londo.
Right.
And he saves Delenn. And we're going to come back to this.
Yes.
We're going to revisit this, because there's a moment later where he chooses not to help somebody because he doesn't believe
They're worth saving.
They're worth that that he thinks that what they've done has made it so that he shouldn't save them.
Right.
And he just saved Londo, who is arguably
The biggest war criminal on the
Yeah.
station.
Yeah. He perpetuated near genocide.
Yeah.
And he just saved his life. And in fact, that decision later, when we do come back to it, not Lanier, but Bill Mummy didn't like it. He thought that was totally out of character for Lanier.
Yeah.
Which is fair. But we'll come back to that, rest assured. Because we go back to Dr. Franklin. And this is when they're taking Lanier into MedLab. And he's basically just like, shit's fucked up. Don't know how he is.
I'll see what I can do.
Londo's like, he could have saved himself, but he waited for me. And they're all like, I wouldn't have.
Right?
Give him the best of care. He saved my life. Dr. Franklin's like I do anything less. God damn it. Do they know?
Shit, have they figured out what I'm up to?
God damn it.
At the old med lab?
He's like, oh yeah, whatever.
That's now all behind secret doors?
I know, they had to rope it off. They were like, just burn it. Everything. That's their first controlled explosion. We'll do everything we can. Let's go, move. So then they, run off. And then we come back to Garibaldi and his crew, his group. And this is when they're like, we've decided that they were both bombs.
Oh, I called this the round table.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we've decided that both explosions
Knights at the round table
were bombs.
Boom.
Boom. Big bada boom. There haven't been any significant structures. There aren't any significant structures I'd consider targets in either area, but they're both heavily trafficked. So we think the targets are people and not... What? Was the first one heavily trafficked?
Yeah.
How so?
By the itinerant population.
Because there was a group down there and they were rooting through it to try to find stuff to steal and sell.
Yeah.
If it was heavily trafficked, wouldn't it be well picked over? Like it wouldn't be the kind of area you would spend time in picking through the boxes?
No logic here.
Okay, he was like, was that the village? Was that the like Willow Village? I don't want to say it because it feels really dirty, but like where all the little people lived, is like that. Is that what that was? It feels God, it roped me in. 90s like took a hold of my soul for a minute there, but I've moved on. Anyway, he's like, our tests indicate that the bomb contained a highly explosive form of duridium nitrate. And the most important part about this is commercial explosives all have a molecular code.
Yeah, molecular fingerprint.
That they can then backtrack to figure out where the guy bought it.
Yeah. We're not saying he's good at what he does.
We come back to that several times.
He's not a professional.
Which implies to me that were he even slightly better at this, they'd have been shit out of luck.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, if he had gone from a like secondary supplier, so like one guy buys it and then he buys it from that guy,
or steal it from another.
You stage
terrorist.
the theft. You quote unquote buy it, but you stage a theft. They can be like, I don't know, it got stolen, whatever.
Yeah.
Then no one could have ever traced it back to him.
Right.
And he sort of leaves like, if he hadn't visited the scenes or if he'd worn a disguise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if he was a better bomber, they'd be out of luck, man. They would have all died, basically. And they're like, was this Home Guard, Free Mars? And they're like, meh.
Who knows?
Meh.
With these things, sometimes you just never know.
These things do happen. It's like, yeah, there's always that chance. Earth Central's putting together a list of terrorist groups. How long does it take? How many of them are there? My gut says that ain't it. And there's just a lot of extreme close-ups in this scene. That's what I wrote down. That was the only thing I wrote down about this whole scene. Wow, there are a lot of extreme close-ups. Because as of now, we have 7 dead and 19 injured, including Mr. Lanier. The only one that matters. And news of the attacks has spread all over, and everybody's fucking panicked. Which is fair because they've seen how the security on Babylon 5 operates.
They know how many guns are floating around the station.
They're like, oh my God. They say there's no weapons on Babylon 5, but this guy got so much explosives through security. Okay. Is it because they weren't organic, so he didn't have to put them in quarantine? How did he get these on the station? He has enough to blow up the reactor.
Right.
So how did he get it on?
So the last bomb is only accessible from the exterior of the station. So he could have had them dropped off, and as a technician of like whatever tier he works, he can do EVAs.
Yeah.
And so one way he could have done it is had it literally just dropped off against the outside of the station and then gone out on an EVA to get it.
Remember that time that guy snuck into the station by just landing on the side and drilling a hole in?
Yeah.
Could be like that too.
Yeah.
Some seismic sensors would probably go a real long way.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
He's like, people are scared out of their wits with just the sheer randomness of it, because how do you get on with your life not knowing when or where the next blast is going to come? Which feels like a reference to Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber.
Yeah.
Because he was very random.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It fits with what I told Garibaldi earlier. We received several anonymous calls at CNC just before the explosion. Okay, so we do revisit, kind of. She's like, chaos is coming. He's like, yeah, well, got plenty of that.
And we'll assume there's a connection until we hear otherwise.
Yeah.
So, okay, good. So, official lead is who called to say chaos is coming. And lockdown, everybody, limit large groups, whatever.
As of now, this is our number one priority. What were you doing before the first two? What were you doing after the first explosion, but before the second one? What was your top priority before that? The monks?
Maybe recovering survivors was their number one priority after the first bombing.
I mean, yeah, but I would consider that part of the whole thing, part of the bombing situation.
Yeah.
I don't know. Until this over, I want the halls cleared. Then we do this weird thing where we like clip through images while he's describing what they want. Because he's like, I want the halls cleared from groups larger than 10. And then we see like a large group
we have all
out
these
of the hallway.
shortcuts.
And there's no point in providing easy targets. Unidentified packages will be confiscated and scanned. We have like a guy scanning a package. Anyone found in a restricted area without proper authorization will be taken in for questioning. And we see them questioning a guy. So they're like illustrating that it's already happening.
Yeah, that they're already doing what he's...
Yeah. So find whoever's responsible and find them fast. Okay. And then we come to Delenn and Dr. Franklin in MedLab. And this is when they're talking about Lanier, and basically the thing that saved his life was the fact that he has a bone helmet, like a half helmet already.
We call it the bonehead maneuver.
No offense, none taken.
None comprehended.
None comprehended. I mean, that's really what this whole section is about. Yeah.
And then I like that we get in sequence Jakar trying to convince Babylon 5 leadership that this was obviously the Centauri. And then we get Londo trying to convince Babylon 5 leadership this was obviously the Narn.
Oh, and the way they cut it together is so perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Where he's like, their rage against us is so irrational that they will sacrifice their own people. And then we cut to Londo to get us. Don't you see? As if they're saying the exact same thing. The only thing I want to mention in this thing where Garibaldi and Jakar are talking to each other is that they are delivering lines as if they are not mic'd. And that's what makes me wonder is if the handy cam was a new thing. Because they're clearly...
And they were trying out more of the area microphones instead of lapel mics.
Well, they're clearly trying to do like a handy cam. And sometimes they'll have cameras on rails, and that's when you get like the smooth movement along with the actors, and that's why you can't usually see their feet. But then if you do it like a handy cam, maybe they were not accustomed to the way that the handy cam picked up vocals, because even Andreas Katsoulas, who's usually just like, you would never believe he was acting for anyone. I believe he's Jakar from the moment he's on screen.
Right.
Is acting for the people in the back. He's like shouting, and even to the point where it makes it hard for them to deliver their lines. Like when they walk away from the handy cam and they go up the stairs and just into that little vestibule, and he's like, several Narns have been killed in these recent explosions. And he's like yelling it really loudly.
Yeah.
In a way that's not even remotely believable. Like it's a moment of like, what was happening? Like what was happening direction wise? Because normally both of these actors do a great job.
Right.
And they're projecting so loudly, it doesn't feel natural. Anyway, I don't know why that occurred to me while I was watching it, but I was like, oh, this feels really wooden for some reason. It still plays really well because as soon as we transfer to Londo and Sheridan, we're obviously back in a more familiar setting and everybody's acting the way they normally do. And they're basically just blaming each other for this, which is, it's got to be like not tiring, but tiring. Like as a human, as a person who's not involved in the conflict, you want to be on the side of the Narn, but also you kind of just want them to both to shut up and stop.
Right.
doing this.
Jakar, give me a moment of peace, please.
It's like they both keep leaving dead mice on the doorstep. And you're like, I get it. You want me involved in this, but I don't want to be involved in this any more than I already am. Because it's perfectly obvious for anyone that the Narns are responsible for these atrocities. There have been similar incidents of terror back on their homeworld, which tells us that they're still fighting back.
Oh, yeah.
On Narn, directed against our forces of liberation. Liberation from whom? Because they were free? And then you guys showed up and you were like, don't worry, we freed you. From who, sir? We freed ourselves from you.
We freed you from freedom.
You had too much of it, and so we took away the excess, which is all of it.
Yeah. And then Londo goes to see Lanier.
Well, hang on. They are an irrational people. I've told you that before, Captain. Now that Earth has wisely signed a non-aggression treaty with my government, there's a lot of nuggets in this.
Yeah, of lore.
Of lore. It's only natural that they begin to do to you what they have been doing to us all this time. He's basically like, they see you as our allies now that you guys have signed a treaty with us. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. They've signed a treaty with us. Like it's a way for them to work that in. And he's like, don't you think it's a little early to start pointing fingers? Well, you know, when you point one finger at somebody else, you're pointing 3 fingers back at yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that?
Every accusation is a confession.
Did you ever get told that?
I've heard that a few times.
Yeah. That was probably right in the same one where I got if you crumple up a piece of paper, you can't smooth it back out again. And if
just watch me.
If you chew a piece of bubble gum, you can't unchew it.
Yeah.
Which is the purity culture narrative. So anyway.
Yep, nobody's going to buy the cow if they're getting the milk for free.
Stop. We don't want to trigger it, okay? You know how I am when I'm triggered. I'm trying to remain untriggered. I'm trying to smoothly move through life without running into my religious trauma and then spilling it all over everybody. And it happens occasionally, but I do try to do my best. I would hate to think that anyone would try to use this tragic situation for their own political advantage.
What?
This is the line that I wanted to talk about and why I didn't want to skip it, which is, there's nothing political about the truth, Captain. Wait a minute. Hold the fucking phone. The truth is literally the most political thing.
Yes.
You can possibly wield.
Yes.
Case in point, the utter inability for any average American to know what is happening in their own country or the world right now.
Right.
We are literally in an information vacuum. I don't know who is listening to this. I'm sorry. Hang on as I straighten myself here and sip my gin and tonic for a moment. But I think if you've listened to us long enough, you're well aware of where we stand on basically everything because we never fucking shut up. But we literally do not have a free media right now. At all. All of our media is controlled. All of our social media is controlled. Every piece of information that gets to us is metered out by committee.
Right. And the algorithms are designed to prevent you from finding out
Yes.
like
to
coherent
distract you.
information.
Look over
Yeah.
here. Look at the shiny thing.
Yeah.
And that is because there is literally nothing more political than knowing the truth about what is happening around you.
Right.
And so I wonder,
It's
did he intend that
intentional or very ironic
to be? Yeah.
for Londo to say that there's nothing political about the truth.
Yeah. It makes me wonder because I'm trying to think of what was happening in the 90s. Is that Desert Storm? I don't know.
Desert Storm would have been, early 90s.
Yeah. Anyway, just a thought. I'm wondering. I think he meant it ironically. I think he meant it
Yes.
as a like the last person in the world who would tell you that the truth is not political is Londo, who
Right.
lies through his fucking teeth all the time
For political gain.
because he's well aware of how much power the truth gives you.
Right.
Especially when you're up to shenanigans, like he is often up to shenanigans.
Yeah.
His entire life right now is a lie.
Mm-hmm.
And he ends up getting dismissed effectively. And we move on to like, how's it out there? Everybody's scared, which makes sense because people shit be blowing up. Shit be blowing up. And literally everyone's just walking around like, you know, the meme with the monkey guy? He's like a stuffed lemur of some kind and he's got his hands up and it's just like,
Yes.
I don't know.
Yep.
That's literally every single official on Babylon 5 right now where
Yeah.
they're like, there's no way we can stop this or prevent it or foresee it. The only thing we can do is react. I would also be terrified.
Mm-hmm.
I would stay in my room because I know who runs Babylon 5.
You've seen how they respond to
I've
things.
seen how they respond to everything. Look at what they did when Dr. Franklin killed that kid. Nothing. They did nothing. He got no
Slap on the
reprimand.
wrist.
Nothing. I don't even think he told anybody. He probably helped smuggle the body off the ship. He was like, I'll help you get it off so you don't have to. I'll respect your privacy by helping you remove the child without anyone ever having to know that you did this on the ship. It's perfectly fine. No, don't ask any questions. I will help you. There's no pattern to it. Doesn't make any sense. And he's like, not to us, no, but whoever's doing it, it makes sense. I mean, not necessarily. It could just
Right.
be a
If
spur
you
of
just
the
want
moment.
to rile up the station, you literally have no pattern.
Yeah.
It's purely opportunistic, which is a pattern, but not in a way that you can predict where the next one's going to be.
Well, this is when they're like 9 times out of 10 when someone's doing this, they're trying to send you a message. So we got to figure out what that message means and who's trying to send it. Don't you wish they had literally already sent you messages?
Yeah.
That was
Multiple
like-
times.
That was
Almost like a countdown.
chaos. I'm going to create chaos. Chaos is coming. I'm literally transmissioning. Oh no, the gin and tonic is hitting. I'm literally sending a transmission from the same phone booth every hour. Whatever. Then we got to Londo and Dr. Franklin in the med lab. And I love this section because this is the part where Londo's like, I just kind of want to sit with Lanier because he saved my life and he didn't have to. And I think it would be better if I just sat here with him. I can't help everything that's going on, but talking, that I can do.
It's a very
Aw.
Londo
Is so
perspective on the
cute.
world.
You know, this is a good moment. I will say this. They are very good because we get a lot of Londo at his worst.
Right.
And then we get these moments with Londo where you're like, oh, he's actually a really nice guy who just doesn't.
He's trapped.
He makes terrible decisions.
Yes.
And he deserves everything that happens to him.
Yeah.
But he's not a bad guy. He's just trapped in a system where the first victim is always the people in the system.
Right.
And he's his own first victim. Because he had to subvert who he was to be able to make the decisions that he made about what he did on Narn.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's locked into that. He destroyed the part of himself that never would have done that. The wine, women, and song, I'm stunning in purple guy.
Mm-hmm.
He had to let that guy go in order to make the choices he made. And they were his choices. And it doesn't absolve him from the responsibility for the decisions that he made. But it's okay to remember that he's also a victim. In the same way that toxic masculinity destroys the men it affects first.
Right.
And everything that they do is horrific and it's their fault. And they bear the responsibility for doing it.
But they're also the victims of the
But they are also
system.
their own first victims. They are also a victim of the system. Right. And I was watching a creator and I thought this was a really good way to put it, where he was saying, like, yes, we talk about not all men or not all women or not all whatever. But it's better to think of it as if you are living in a system, like Londo is living in a system, and you are benefiting from the system.
Mm-hmm.
It is not enough for you to just not support or perpetuate the beliefs of the system. You must be anti that system.
Yes.
So it's not enough for him to just be like, I no longer want to participate in the system that led me to perpetuating genocide on that planet. He has to be anti-imperialism. He can't just be non-supporter of, like, you can't just be I'm not racist. You can't just be I'm not racist. You have to be anti-racist, because you are benefiting from a system that is based on he is benefiting from imperialism.
Right.
He's cashing checks that come from an imperialist system. He's representing the imperialist system. He's benefiting from it.
Right. He's enjoying all the fruits of the fame and fortune that he has received because of the way this oppressive system operates.
Yes.
And if he really wanted to do the right thing, it would be to actively
work against
the system.
Yeah. Just not supporting it is actually not enough.
Right.
Right. So all that aside, we do get this really cute moment where he's like, if I were in your position, I'm sure that you would do the same for me. Of course, if I were in your position and you were still in your position, then neither one of us could do very much for the other. So I suppose properly I should say that if I were in your position and you were in my position, you would do the same. Of course, if both of us were in my position and neither one of us were in your position, there would be no need for anyone to do anything. I'm not sure that made sense, and I'm afraid to try and go back to figure it out, or I will start bleeding from my ears. It's so cute. It's such because he's just
rambling, trying to keep a voice going.
And then he tells a joke about how many Centauri does it take to screw in a light bulb? Just one, but in the great old days of the Republic, hundreds of servants would change 1,000 light bulbs on his slightest whim. Do they have light bulbs? Is that translated? Is this thing where you're like, it's translated into our vernacular so that we can comprehend it?
Yeah, like the Lord of the Rings.
I mean, okay, so every single society eventually develops the gin and tonic.
Right.
Does every society eventually develop the light bulb?
Maybe
the
not.
Exchangeable source of light that you can remove and replace?
Oh, probably.
I mean, if you always have an expendable filament of some kind, then you would have to develop some sort of interchangeable filament system.
Right, even if it's just an LED component.
Yeah.
And that's just good system design to say this component that could wear out is replaceable.
Yeah. I mean, does everybody start with combustion?
Oh, I doubt it.
I guess it would depend. If you were a planet that had
It depends on what resources are available.
Say you lived in a tidal locked planet that one side was always on, like Romulus, where one side's always in the sun. Isn't it Romulus? There's that one planet in Star Trek lore that one side faces the sun, and there's one race that lives on that side, and one side faces the dark all the time, and there's another race.
I thought the Remans lived on a moon.
No, it's because it's a tidal locked planet, and so one side is one race and one side's the other race. Anyway, say you live on a planet that's tidal locked, so you have all this sun. Wouldn't the sun be the most abundant resource? Well, then you'd never develop a light bulb because it'd never be dark.
Until you go underground.
And then you'd be like, fuck, what is darkness?
Well, you dig a hole.
Would you even have a word
There's
for it? It
probably
would just
caves.
be shadow. And when you assume
But then
there's caves and maybe
you
not.
just
Maybe
have
it's a water
mirrors and
planet.
you yell, Aziz, light.
Maybe it's water world. What did we were doing something. My
bioluminescence.
son was like, nothing's free in water world. And I was like, yes, I have succeeded as a parent. It's not free. And he was like, nothing's free in water world. And I was like, yes, thank you, God.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. This is another spiral. I'm going to gonna pause this right there. Let's just say
So
they have
cute
something,
Londo moment.
something similar enough to a light bulb that they
That
were
the joke
able
works.
to translate Earth humor into the joke. Yeah.
Yep.
I guess you had to be there, is what he said. Because he didn't laugh, of course, because he's unconscious and stuff.
Right.
He's like, yeah, I'm going to take a break now. Wait for you to talk. And if you don't, I'm going to start talking again. And we don't want that now, do we? Take your time. No pressure. I'll wait. As we're like zooming out. It's really cute.
Yeah.
This is we needed this.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't keep reminding us, we're going to forget that this is Londo.
Right.
Right,
We're going to
'cause-
forget that Londo actually cares about people.
And you need this moment to make the elevator scene really hit.
Right.
You need it.
Otherwise, Londo is just big bad evil guy
Right.
every time you see him.
Right. And then he would have popped up, big bad evil guy, and then had this moment in the elevator, and you wouldn't have been like, oh my God, these are two people who I think if you could just sit them down and have them chit chat, they would realize they're basically the same person.
Mhm.
And they're going to kill each other. Like you wouldn't have had that impact from as soon as they got stuck in the elevator. Matt goes, oh yeah.
This is going to be
He
good.
was like, hell yeah, I remember this scene. If I remember, when I'm trying to sell people on Babylon 5, the elevator scene is one of the moments that I usually point out.
Yeah.
Because they are so good together. They're so good together. The right actors in the right role, in the
Mhm.
right characters, the right moment in time. And that is such a perfect example of what you can do when you have two people who have so much chemistry on screen. Because really not a lot happens,
Right.
but every moment you see with them together, you're like, oh, it's so fucking good. We go to Garibaldi and Ivanova and Sheridan. And this is when they're like, we had another bomb go boom. And they're like, oh no, bomb go boom.
Big bada boom.
Boom. Oh no. And he's like, my team got lucky. We found the bomb seconds before it went off. Wait a minute. And your team was able to report back about it? How? It went off seconds after they arrived. We were able to clear the place out. Couple of small injuries, nothing major. He's like, find out anything about the bomb? And he goes, not much. It looked pretty primitive.
Oh, it doesn't say anything about seconds. Just
No,
we found
he
the
said
bomb before
seconds.
went
It
off.
just didn't include it in the
Oh, okay.
subtitles. Yeah. And I wrote, define this. What do you mean primitive? How do you know? 24 hours ago, you thought boxes could explode if left unattended for long enough.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you know that this is a primitive looking bomb? Did they use an old timey
You
Earth
can
wristwatch?
tell by the way it is.
Was it steam powered? What do you mean it was a primitive bomb? As in it wasn't like a prepackaged Earth bomb? I guess like a home built. Maybe it looked home built. Maybe that's a better way to describe it. It looked like a guy who had ripped the wiring out of his walls and made this.
Yeah.
Because he's using components as well. It's not just the explosive. It's
Mhm.
additional component. Like the thing that he builds and puts on the reactor.
Mm-hmm.
Where did he get all of that shit? And he had to weld the entire chamber with the explosive in it closed? Where was he welding that? On his off time?
Maybe
Did
that's
he-
why his performance reviews have been bad.
Yeah, because he was like, oh, I've been busy welding, dude, but you're never welding anything that we need. You're always welding these sculptures. And he's like, yes.
Do not mock my art.
And all the sculptures have like ticking time things on them. And he's
Mhm.
like, they're all a metaphor about mortality. I don't think we're dealing with a pro. There's just so many assumptions. It's fine.
It's narrative
5.
shortcut.
It's narrative shortcuts. We have 48 minutes, but they're always like, it's proven if he's not a pro. Okay, what? Wait, walk it back. Talk me through that. What do you mean?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean? But we don't have time for that. We don't have time for that. And they're still looking for an agenda. And sometimes, this is a thing I kind of wish we had leaned into and we didn't, which is that sometimes people hurt people because they like hurting people.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's no reason. They just
There's
do
no
it.
broader objective there.
Yeah, because they keep trying to tie it into political things. And sometimes it is political. And sometimes by the nature of who perpetrated it, it becomes political.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes people just hurt people.
Yeah.
And I always love it when they lean into like, there's not always a reason. Sometimes people are just shit.
Right. They're just damaged. They're
Yeah. And this is when Morishi
off the
calls in.
rails.
Morishi calls in. And he's like, yeah, molecular coding was intact on enough of it to get a trace. And it's from an ice mining operation on Vega 7. But it was also used in a series of bombs on Proxima 3. So we have a better lock on who this guy could be. Because they're like, he came here from Proxima 3, assuming he doesn't have an
Maybe.
accomplice, I guess.
Yeah.
But he's got major incel energy, so we're guessing he doesn't have any friends. He probably lives in whatever passes for a basement. And I can say that because we've done the basements. We've done our basement time. Longtime listeners will know that Matt and I have been through it. And so we definitely spent our time living in the basement, but we moved out of the basement.
Mm-hmm.
And we have sun and sunshine and friends now. We had friends then too. So maybe it's not the same thing.
Yeah,
I don't know.
he seems very lonely.
Yeah. It is very male loneliness epidemic of him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
To lash out.
Yeah. I deserve friends. I don't need to work for them. They're
Right.
supposed to be
I'm
coming
just trying
from
to
me.
punish the universe for my suffering.
Sometimes I want to punish the universe, so I respect it. I don't understand it.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't blow anybody up, but I don't understand the mindset of hurting people because you know what? Maybe it's like a toddler.
Or
Sometimes-
it's to prove to yourself that you do have some influence in the world.
Well, it's kind of like a toddler. You know how sometimes a toddler to communicate because they can't accurately tell you how they're feeling. They try to get you to feel how they're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Like that.
Yeah.
But with bombs.
And so maybe he feels like people have been bombing his life.
Yeah. Do you think he...
Metaphorically.
And so he decided to bomb the lives of people? Literally.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he knew it had a molecular signature?
He probably doesn't know.
You don't think so? Do you think this plays into he's an amateur?
Yeah.
We
He
can tell
doesn't
he's
know what
not
he
a
doesn't
pro.
know.
I mean, he's gotten away with, 3 explosions so far? And you guys
Mhm.
haven't caught him? Maybe more, and you guys just thought they were like toilet bombs or something
Happening naturally.
happening naturally, right? How many explosions happened? And they were like, oh, this looks like natural causes. I had a teacher. This was way back. You could tell her a cosmic ray had hit your computer, and that was a legitimate excuse for turning in work late
Oh.
because she thought that cosmic rays could disrupt technology and keep you from being able to turn
They
in
can.
stuff.
They can. But it's extremely rare.
Okay, well, I'm sure it happened more often in her class than is really statistically likely because she had a thing at the beginning where she was like, there are these things called cosmic rays and they float through the universe and they can just turn a 0 into a 1 and then you can't open your paper anymore. And if that happens, you just let me know and I will give you extra time to get that back.
There's a relevant XKCD for this.
Oh, no. So that's what it kind of feels like when they keep telling us he's not a pro. They're like, look me in the eye. He's not a pro. He's literally had 15 explosions.
Okay, the cosmic rays, XKCD. It starts off nano. It's a text editor.
Yeah.
Nano, real programmers use Emacs. And then the next person says, real programmers use Vim. Nah, real programmers use Ed. which is a really old school one.
Yeah.
No, real programmers use cat. No, real programmers use a magnetized needle and a steady hand. And somebody else says, excuse me, but real programmers use butterflies. They open their hands and let the delicate wings flap once. The disturbance ripples outward, changing the flow of the eddy currents in the upper atmosphere. These cause momentary pockets of higher pressure air to form, which act as lenses that deflect incoming cosmic rays, focusing them to strike the drive platter and flip the desired bit. And then the first person chimes in, nice. Of course, there's an Emacs command to do that. Damn it, Emacs!
Oh, programmer humor.
And then the alt text is, real programmers set the universal constants at the start such that the universe evolves to contain the disk with the desired data. Bit flips on electronic components from cosmic rays are a thing.
Okay.
It does happen.
Okay.
When you send stuff up into space, you have to shield it like shit to prevent as many cosmic rays from flipping bits as possible. And then you have a whole bunch of error correction stuff because bits will get flipped. But on the surface of the Earth, it doesn't really happen much.
Okay, well, tell that to my college professor, okay?
My favorite one is there was a Mario 64 speed run, and it was some kind of like big cylinder, and you're jumping up a bunch of levels inside of this cylinder. And I think the person, they were recording it, they might have been live streaming it, but their character glitched up like from the bottom of this tower all the way to the top. And a group of people spent a lot of time trying to reverse engineer what happened. And their only conclusion, or their only plausible reason why this particular glitch happened, was that a cosmic ray hit the game console and flipped a bit in the RAM for the position data.
Oh.
And they said, okay, if you... There are several places where if you flipped one bit, it would alter the position data of the character in such a way that we observed in this recording. So cosmic rays.
How do you speed run Mario 64? I played a shit ton of Mario 64. Don't even with your phone right now.
Hold on. I'm
Sir.
going to look up the record.
Oh my God. Why would you? It was one of those games where you like drew it out. And there's some later levels that are bullshit, to be honest.
All right.
The one where you jump in the clock.
N64.
Yeah.
Let's see. Full game, 120. Let's say any percent. What's the any percent speed run record?
I love that this is a thing. Actually, I hate video game speedruns. But I understand them as how fast can I beat this thing? Except I never wanted to beat anything fast. I always liked it to linger.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I liked 100%. That was my problem. I did get all 150 stars, and then I got Yoshi. But you can only have Yoshi outside of the castle. It's dumb.
All right. The speedrun record for any number of stars is 6 minutes and 14 seconds.
Are you fucking kidding me? How even?
There's some glitches where you can clip through, you can clip through the door that goes straight to the end Bowser fight.
Oh, you know what you need? A
life?
No. Well, that too, but also a cosmic ray emitter.
Oh, yeah, just you take the microwave emitter out of your microwave and you point it at your game console while you're playing.
Work some magic, bitch. What happened to
Put some butterflies in between the microwave emitter and the console.
What happened to your Nintendo 64? I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. Oh my God, that was such a good game console, man. I think about the Nintendo 64 once a week, probably.
Mm.
I mean, for multiplayer games, unparalleled. I've never had another game system where it was like You went to a friend's house and you were jazzed about playing whatever game they had on the Nintendo 64 because it wasn't about sitting and watching other people play. It was like GoldenEye, gold standard of first person
Right?
shooter, like playing with each other game. Perfect. Every single first person shooter since then, arguably, is based on the GoldenEye multiplayer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go run around, gather your ammo as you go around, learn the map.
Mm-hmm.
And then like set traps or wait for people or whatever. It was so good. It was such a good game system. Oh, I feel like there's a lot of tangents in this episode, but it also feels like necessary because this is so straightforward. There's no B plot. Or maybe Lanier being maybe dead is like a B plot ish. And the elevator is like an ish B plot, but for the most part, it's just like, but the bomber, we catch the bomber, and then they catch the bomber.
Both of the potential B plots only happen because of the A plot.
Yeah.
So they're kind of part of the A plot.
Exactly. Right. I mean, this is the part that really got me.
And then even the whole brother Theo thing.
Yeah. Is just part of
it feeds into the main plot.
Yeah. I mean, the A plot. It's literally just. He had something to say about mass bombers, and he felt like he said it. So here we all are.
Yep.
31 years later, because we get to the part where they're like, one more thing. If whoever's behind these bombings wants to create fear and chaos, he might be sticking around to see the results. And they're like, okay, great. We should go over the security camera records for a period of 3 hours after the bombings.
Why not 3 hours before the bombings?
Not before. And if you are sitting there saying, well, Matt and Rachel, it's clear that they put the cameras there afterwards to watch the bombing sites. He says we sent in an extra 10 recorders. Extra, implying in addition to. Right. As supplementary to the cameras that were already present. But we never, ever, ever talk about reviewing the footage from before, where a guy walks up, looks at the camera, is like, winks.
What about the elevator logs?
Yeah. Wouldn't you check to see if the tubes were in use at the time?
Yeah. Who used the tubes? Maybe they don't have. Maybe you only have to like authenticate with the elevator when you're going to secured levels.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he just pushes, boop, he just pushes the button. But you would still be able to say this tube was in motion when the bomb went off, which implies there might be somebody in it. We should probably check it. Instead of being like, we're good. Thank God. It's fine. And they're like, okay, use a computer. And he's like, well, we still have to give it parameters. We can't just say, search all the recordings and look for the same face. We're talking human instinct. Garibaldi gets it.
Yep.
Garibaldi gets it. He was like, you can't AI this shit. You can't automate this. You got to have human instinct. You got to have someone who can recognize that is the same person.
And Ivanov is like, hold my beer.
And the back profile and the front profile. Like, you can't just feed that into the computer and expect it to be able to do that. Our data center down on the planet can't handle that amount of whatever. And she's like, oh, I think I know just the people. And this is when we go back to Londo and he's like, oh, God, look at the time. Actually, I got to go. I'll be back soon.
Does Lanier ever know that Londo sat with him for hours?
He does because he remembers the joke.
Oh, the joke. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good point. Thank you.
Yep. Which should just lead him to believe even more strongly that everyone is deserving of being saved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so they go down to Brother Theo in, what is this room? Is this their room?
Yeah, they cleaned it up. It's a room and down below. They cleaned it up.
It's a row of TVs and chairs.
Yeah, they cleaned it up.
Workstations.
Mm-hmm.
What did they kick all the unhoused people out? And they were
this is probably like an IT room, and Ivanova brought them in to do the.
But what do they do in this? Do they watch the security cameras?
Yeah.
Clearly not, because we haven't been looking for the bomber on the security footage. So what do they do in this room?
Oh, generally,
Yeah, generally.
It was, a design requirement, but it's unstaffed.
They're like, you got to have a room where you review security footage all the time to make sure nobody's up to shenanigans. And they were like, but it's fine. They turned off all the cameras.
Like anyone would do anything bad on the station?
They turned off all the cameras and they just stacked a bunch of boxes. They just stashed a bunch of boxes in this room.
Yeah, the monks found this room full of boxes. Oh, wow, there's a whole security review room. Wow.
Season 2 and 3 have really been lacking in the number of times that we've been beaten up in rooms full of miscellaneous boxes, to be honest.
Yeah.
I sort of feel the lack. I was watching this and I was like, what room is that? What do they do in that room?
Maybe it's new, like the new med lab in episode 1. Like, they just wanted to build a new set.
It's an internet cafe.
Ooh.
It's an internet cafe. But since Babylon 5 has been built, they've suddenly had Wi-Fi available throughout the entire station, and nobody needs the Wi-Fi. Yeah, but nobody needs the internet cafe anymore. So it's basically unstaffed. That's what it is.
It's obsolete.
That's my headcanon. Listen, we go on cruises, not frequently, semi-frequently, and we always go on the same boat, and it's the oldest boat in the fleet.
Mm-hmm.
And it has a room that's labeled as the library. But it used to be the internet cafe where you would go and you could access the internet and send your family and friends email if you wanted to.
Yeah.
And so they have stations set up like you would be on a computer. But of course, the computers are all gone because nobody does that shit anymore. And it's like relic infrastructure of how we used to be connected. Mm-hmm. And that's what this is.
Yeah.
That's exactly what this is. I'm done. Fine. I've solved my home problem. I didn't even need you here for that.
Aw.
I always need you, honey. May I be the first to say that this is the nuttiest idea you've ever had? That's what Garibaldi says. And Ivanova goes, thank you. And Brother Theo just goes, shh.
Like they're in a library.
Is it relevant to say that it was just our 18th wedding anniversary?
Aww.
Oh no, 18 years. Oh, it's about time for me to start getting tired of you, I guess. The honeymoon phase is almost over.
Oh man. Here it goes.
We've actually been together 21 years.
Yep. We started dating right after your niece was born.
Did we start dating when I was 4? You know what's really funny is I think about when we first started this podcast and my niece was so young. And we used to make cracks about my Gen Z niece all the time. And
and then it turns out she used to listen to our podcast.
And she would be like, you need to be careful how you talk about me. And I was like, no, I don't. Nobody knows who you are. And then I just do what I want. But we can't do it anymore because she's not funny anymore. She's got like a job and shit. She's like grown up.
She graduated from college. She's like, starting a career.
She's doing the damn thing. And I can't be like, oh, my Gen Z niece. And her.
And we can still talk about our Gen Z niece, but.
I mean, and her internship, like her real life internship at a city hall. No, I can't talk about my Gen Z niece. Alas, man. Not till our kids get a little older. And then we can be like, oh, our Gen Alpha kids, man. Oh, no.
That'll be the day.
Did you know we started podcasting like 4 years ago?
Yep.
Yeah. I was thinking about that because Generation Y, I think, is one of the oldest like true crime podcasts, and they were on the air we've been on the air for 10 years, and that was way back.
Yeah.
And we've now been on the air for 4.5
3.5
years.
3.5 or 4.5?
All Kosh will be 2 years old in December.
Whoa.
Right? You're like, oh no. Oh, where does the time go? Oh, no. Oh. What's really funny is I won. This is, okay, I'm going to say this and then we'll get back to the episode. But this is the most dated statement I can possibly make. Are you ready for it?
Uh-huh.
I won an iPod 150 gigabyte iPod.
The classic iPod.
The classic iPod.
With the spin wheel.
which was not the classic iPod at the time. It was just the only iPod available.
Right.
Yeah, the iPod, the 150 gigabyte, which was like the big boy
Yep.
iPod, in a podcast competition in 2006.
Yep.
And it was basically a PowerPoint presentation because nobody knew what a podcast was. So I just pre-recorded my narration for a PowerPoint presentation and made it into a video, and it counted, and only 2 people entered. And so I won the iPod, because the iPad wasn't even out yet. I won the iPod. And I was in college. That
Your
is how
first
old
podcast.
I am. And I was talking about some art guy. I don't even remember. And I think about that more often than I probably should, because the other guy who entered made a whole animated video
Whoa.
where he created his own animation, his own original story. He drew every frame and narrated it. And I literally had made a PowerPoint for a class. And my teacher was like, we haven't had any entries into this contest. So just like record yourself talking about these slides and just submit it. And I was like, he had me do it in his office, and he submitted it for me. Like I didn't even half-ass it. I didn't ass it at all. I literally just had done the work for another thing.
Mm-hmm.
Not for this podcast. And this guy literally produced a video podcast in 2006.
Yeah.
And they gave it to me. I won. There were two entries, and I won because they didn't feel his had a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Wow.
Which you think about the definition of podcast now, and you're like, wow, we have no beginning, no middle, and no end. Like we just continue on into infinity. I think about, he should have won.
Yeah.
And I should have contested that. I should have contested it, or I should have given it to him. But at the time I was just like, I'm a poor bitch and I just got an iPad. This is an iPod. This is amazing. And then 2 weeks later, you got it stolen out of a car.
Along with my iPod.
Along with your
my
iPod.
80 gigabyte iPod.
Yeah. Alas.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that the other day. I left my phone somewhere and I was like, it's fine. Nobody steals phones anymore. I mean, because at one time, God, you never left your phone anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
That shit was just hot. Maybe if you had an iPod, iPhone. I'm so out of touch with Apple products. I'm like, what do they have now? Is it the phone and Tosh? The phone. Anyway, all right. This is what you get for talking me into doing shots before we talk about this.
Yes, doing shots at your suggestion. Totally. I'm 100% to blame. I'm so sorry, honey.
I know. There's a podcast called Why We Drink, or What We're Drinking, or Why We Drink.
Why we're drinking what we're drinking?
No, it's one of those that I don't
Why
remember.
are we drinking what we're drinking?
And they talk about at the beginning what they're drinking. And generally, I think one of them might be sober. And so they're always drinking some kind of smoothie, and the other one's always drinking some alcoholic beverage. But at the beginning, they announce what they're drinking during the podcast.
Okay.
And I think about that sometimes, because generally you have some whiskey.
Whatever's in the cabinet.
Which is usually 2 things. And you're just like, here we go. And you just pour them together. And I almost always have a gin and tonic.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like we should announce at the beginning what we start with. What did you drink during this podcast, honey?
I sipped a shot of whiskey.
And we did do a shot of whiskey cream.
Yep.
Yeah. And I also had a beer. And now I haven't had that much of my gin and tonic. So I'm blaming the whiskey cream for the side.
It's only 17%.
I can blame anything I want.
Yeah, you can.
If Londo has taught me anything, it's that I can lay blame at the feet of anything I want to lay blame at.
Whatever's expedient in the moment.
Exactly. So then we come back to Londo and Jakar. And this is the elevator scene.
So
and this was the part where Matt
Londo's
was like,
waiting at the elevator.
yeah.
The door opens and Jakar's inside.
Yes.
And Londo's like, I'll wait for the next one. But then an explosion! And Londo has to jump into the elevator.
Yeah. Do you think Peter Jurassic had a stunt double for jumping into the
Nah.
elevator? Or do you think he was like, I can leap it?
I can do it.
Honestly, he was probably our age when they filmed this.
I saw a thing the other day about how Tom Felton is the same age now as the guy that played Lucius Malfoy was.
Shot to
when they
the
were-
heart.
And so,
And you're too late,
yeah,
baby.
so they had a picture of him made up like Lucius Malfoy.
Yes, I saw that as well. I mean, there's more layers to that because he also refuses to
Associate.
speak out against.
Oh, he refuses to speak out
She who
against.
must not be named.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a little not amazing for those of us who have sworn off literally everything involving that intellectual property.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, this is when we come back and they're talking about the newest bomb. And they're like, how bad is it? I don't know. It blew out most of Red 15. We can't even get down there. Do you think it was natural causes?
Did this one happen naturally, or do you think this one was an artificial explosion?
It was an artificially induced
The
explosion.
explosions are just how the station operates.
I know, it's just part of the ecosystem around here.
It's like when you have to fart.
I'm telling you, it's like controlled burns. 3 transport tubes are down. Anyone inside? Unknown. There's only 3 transport tubes, and it takes them hours to get
They
to
have to
all
dig
of
them
them.
out.
Okay. Londo wakes up and he's like, hello, computer.
Hello, computer.
Hello, computer. Is it relevant to once again point out that Star Trek 4 is my favorite Star Trek movie of all time?
Mm-hmm.
And there's this scene where Scotty picks up, he's like trying to put information into this computer, which is clearly like an Apple IIe.
Yeah.
And he picks up the mouse and he's like, hello, computer. Hello. It's my favorite scene in the entire. No, the whole movie is my favorite. It's my favorite among many favorites.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it reminds me of when he wakes up and he's like, green. 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 And Shakar's like, it's really not going to work. Actually, he doesn't say anything. He just starts giggling, which I love. He's like,
Like most of the time, Jakar's just sitting there giggling
yeah.
at Londo's suffering.
I just drew a picture of a bottle and I put lightning in it. That's my
Lightning
whole-
in a bottle.
That's my whole notes. Because he's like, is anybody out there? Can you hear me? There's no one there. It would appear we're on our own. And he's like, I don't know how long I've been unconscious. And Jakar's like, 2 hours. He's like, you've done nothing? And he's like, yeah, of course I've done nothing. I would point out to you that this door is extremely hot. There's a very good chance there's a fire out there. And even if the fire doesn't get in here, the smoke and heat will eventually make it impossible to breathe. We will die in here. And Jakar's like,
Yeah, I know. It's amazing. Best day ever.
best day ever. He's like, unless we get ourselves out of here on our own, we will probably die here. So we must work together. And Jakar goes,
Nope.
no. Nope. No? What do you mean no? And he's like, no. I love that he's giggling this
The whole time.
Oh my God, this is so perfect. I think about this scene. A lot because this is so good. Maybe we had this discussion during our our Chapter House Dune episode.
Mm-hmm.
But we were talking about movies no longer make their money on like the secondary market. You don't get DVD rentals, you don't get DVD sales, you don't get videos, none of that. So it has to make back most of its money in the theater.
Right.
So it ends up self-selecting for these like splashy, high draw, high controversy, get butts in the seat and just entertain them for 2 hours, 2.5 hours, whatever, and then you're out. And there's no consideration about the rewatchability of anything. Because they're not anticipating you ever watching this ever again.
Right.
Because they're not really going to make money once this hits a streaming service. They don't give a shit. They just want you to make money right now while it's in the theater.
Yeah.
And there is a type of media that self-selects for.
Right. A type of story.
Super splashy, doesn't have to be great characterization, doesn't have to be great plot, just big, bright, loud, and like just draw you in, entertain you, and then let you go. And you may never think about that movie again. And they literally don't care.
Right.
You watch this scene, and then when you watch the entire series and you come back to this scene again, after seeing where these two characters are going to go,
it hits even harder.
Every single time you watch this, it gets better.
Yeah.
Every single time. And what's wild is that in this era of TV, they were also not producing rewatchable television. Because there was no TiVo, there was no DVRs, there was no DVD release. This is not released on DVD until like, I think 2010, maybe? Or like early 20
Right, you just have reruns.
You just had reruns.
There's
might be 10
a
years.
small chance that this would get released on physical media that you could buy. But otherwise, if you wanted to rewatch it, you had to record it yourself.
Yeah. If you had a VCR, if you had blank VCR tapes, if you had the ability to program it or to videotape it or whatever. But more often than not, you watched this and then it just was gone. And you had no reassurance that it was ever going to appear in your life ever again. Maybe in syndication, if you were lucky.
Right.
And yet he still produced this moment specifically designed for rewatchability.
Yeah.
And that is, I think, really the genius of Babylon 5, is that he was not writing for the TV of the moment. He was writing for the TV 15 years in the future.
Right.
Where
you could tell more immersive stories.
When people's expectation for consistency of storyline was going to be so much higher, and for rewatchability was going to be so much higher, and for consistency of narrative throughout the entire series.
Right. Like literature versus pulp fiction.
Yeah. Right. Which is why when you compare it to the Star Trek of the time, I mean, really DS9 is doing some of this.
Yes. DS9 is doing similar things.
But I think he's pushing everybody. I think Babylon 5, if you look back, Babylon 5 is the thrust behind the motion towards greater accountability for continuity, greater accountability for storylines, just creating deeper, more meaningful characters that don't always end where they began.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how much the stupid elevator scene makes me think every single time, because he's like, don't you know you're going to die? And he's like, yeah. Of course I know I'm going to die. And he's like, okay, well then kill me. Well, if you hate me that much, kill me. And he's like, don't you remember? In the treaty, it says that if I kill any Centauri, you'll kill 500 nuns, including Narns. Narns.
That makes it even worse.
Not nuns. Where do you even get them from? There's only 500 nuns left on Earth in general, including the perpetrator's own family. He's like, but I don't have to kill you. I don't have to do anything, and I still get to watch you die.
Yippee!
I find this most appealing. And Lando's like, you are fucking crazy. You're crazy. We have got to work together. And he's like, no, as the humans say, up yours.
Die. And this is so good because Jakar is what Londo has made him to be.
Yeah.
Right? Londo is the architect of the experiences that turn Jakar into this character.
This moment, brought to you by Londo.
Yep.
Absolutely.
The conces are quincing.
Look at what Jakar was ready to do when he sat down with Londo and had a drink with him.
Mm-hmm.
After he talked to the Emperor and the Emperor apologized, and he sat down with Londo and was like, I really thought you guys weren't capable of anything great, and then you proved me wrong. So you know what? I'm ready.
Let's talk.
Let's talk. And then immediately, betrayal.
Yep.
So this moment is Londo's. And Jakar is just willing to let the leopards eat his face.
Because they'll eat Londo's face too.
And this is the contract. This is the paradox of tolerance.
Mm-hmm.
Arguably, you can't necessarily apply this to the Narns and the Centauri because the Narns are not particularly tolerant ahead of time. But the idea that violence is never justified. This isn't really violence. It's violence through inaction.
Mm-hmm.
Is literally the kind of thing that the person that wants you to not hurt them, like the bad guy, would say to you to keep you from fighting back. Well, if you hurt me, you're going to be just like me. No, I'm not. No, I'm fucking not. Right? So like Jakar not acting to save Londo does not make him as bad as Londo.
Right.
Not even a tiny smidge of a little bit. Londo is a war criminal. Londo is responsible for the death of millions of people.
If Jakar personally hunted down Londo's nephew that got stationed on Ragesh 3.
Yeah.
Did a video call with Londo and stabbed Londo's nephew on camera and like made a silly face, like blah, 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 right? He's not even close to as bad as Londo yet.
Yes, Londo is responsible for the death of millions of people. He would feel personally as important to Londo.
Right.
Because Londo would see him hurting someone who is personally important to Londo.
Right.
But Jakar has had to endure the death of his entire civilization.
Right.
And then was removed from power because that power no longer existed.
Right.
He was stripped of everything. He's stuck on Babylon 5 because it's the only place he has sanctuary.
Right. There's nowhere else for him to go.
No. So for him to sit there and watch Londo die is perfection. Because it does not demean Jakar in any way to allow Londo to come to harm through inaction.
From Jakar's perspective, this is the most moral thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Almost as if that would have also been the thing that Lanier could have done. Lanier says it. He goes, I feel that I have sacrificed the future for a decision I made today.
Yep.
And it's wild that in this otherwise like, he bombing y'all, or no, boom, boom plot, we get this one moment of like, what does violence actually mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like the Batman quote where it's like, if you kill a murderer, there's still the same number of murderers in the world. Yeah, well, but if I keep killing murderers.
If I kill 10 murderers, now there's 9 less murderers.
Now there's 9 less murderers. Okay, it's fine. It's not fine.
We can extrapolate the math analogy here.
Yeah, like you're trying to convince me that I shouldn't fight back, but it's starting to feel like you're just trying to protect yourself from the retribution you know you deserve.
Yep.
Because this is my favorite part. Londo's like, can anyone hear us? And Jakar goes, I hear you. I hear you, like really quietly. And he goes, in here. We're in here. And he just starts laughing. It's so, his joy at being able to watch Londo in pain.
It's palpable.
It's so, oh my God.
It's infectious.
And otherwise, like, I didn't realize this was in this episode. And when it popped up, like I was reading through the subtitles and it popped up and I was like, really? In the, oh no, boom, boom episode. Okay, great. Because then we come back to, and probably really from this masterclass in charismatic acting potential, Garibaldi and the Monks.
I was trying to figure out a good acronym
For the monks?
for LLM for the monks.
Large language monkery. Lots of little monks.
Lots of little monks. There we go.
They put it in the LLM, which in this case is the lots of little monk machine. You know what? It would be better if that's what AI was just a bunch of religious people frantically trying to stay relevant.
We've had several situations
They would consume just as much water.
Where the AI, like I think it was Waymo, one of the self-driving car companies, they said, oh yeah, it's full autonomous driving,
Yeah.
whatever. But it turns out they had a call center in the Philippines where everybody was remote connected and
I
they
love
were
that so
driving.
much.
And one of the car crashes was because their internet connection got interrupted, and so the car hit something.
Wow.
And then there was another one. It was like an AI tech solution company. Like you submit your case to our system, and then we'll feed you back a functioning program at the end. And they just had like a whole bunch of software engineers in India just hacking out solutions, hacking out software as fast as possible. And they said it was their AI system.
I mean, listen. They just published that article. Was it today or yesterday? I forget who published it, that said it's more expensive to run AI prompts than it is to employ an actual software engineer.
Oh yeah, there was a company that had fired a bunch of almost all of its junior engineers, and they said, "Oh wow, the token costs are exploding. So we've actually found that it's cheaper to hire junior engineers to do the simple work."
Oh wow, we've come full circle.
How about that?
That didn't even take that long.
Like they're eating the seed grain not out of hunger but out of greed.
Yeah.
As an analogy for we're firing all the junior software engineers.
I love that I told that to you, and then
so
it had so much impact.
In 10 years, you're not going to have... Where do senior engineers come from?
Yeah.
They were junior engineers first.
No, they sprang fully forth from the forehead of Zeus like Athena.
Right.
Just you come out of college as a senior. I couldn't think of it. It's like college as a senior engineer, don't you?
Not even close.
Oh, dang it. I should point out here that I get mad making an account on a website, so I'm not the person you need to discuss about this. We come back to Garibaldi and the monks. This is the important part. So the lots of little monks have come up, the LLM have come up with an answer. And they're like, look, this guy. Because they're like, oh man, hell's breaking loose out there. Shit's at the fan. We really need you guys to get on this. And they're like, oh, we already found him. It's that guy. That guy right there.
This one.
This
that
one.
Him.
Look at him.
That
him right there.
He looks so guilty.
Look at his face. That's a guilty face. Look at him. He's full of crime. And his name is Robert Carlson.
Patrick Kilpatrick.
And he was hired in January. So he was just hired. They're like, oh, great. Pull his file. Give me everything we've got on him, and I will scramble attack team full armor. I want that area cleared. He could have kept this on the DL. He should have kept this. Can he not lock a door remotely?
I think he can.
Oh, because this guy had already planted this bomb, though.
Yep.
The big bomb. The big one that's on the reactor. He'd already done it because he has the kill switch ready when Sheridan arrives.
Yep.
All right. Because then we get a moment of Jakar singing All the Fishes in the Sea. Just Londo and me. Oh my God. I can't with how perfect this entire scene is.
He's a loner, a quiet guy.
Oh no.
Save me from loners and quiet guys.
I was like, oh. Oh, that feels prophetic. Okay, so we've been cleaning out my son's room. Matt, have been cleaning out my son's room. I've been
gutting the walls.
Emotionally supporting you because we've been, so the way that it works is somebody blew insulation in, and to try to keep it from falling down from the second story to the first story, because our studs are fully 2 stories tall. Because our house was built in 1915. There is newspaper damming the bottom of each bay in my son's room. So as we pull paper out, Matt's like, look at this shit. So he's been bringing the paper down for us to look at.
All these newspapers from 1915, which is pretty cool.
What's really wild is how we're all having the same conversations. It's just the same conversation.
Right.
So listening to this in 1995, I was like, oh no. we already knew. We already knew that, like, the lonely, I'm just a quiet dude were the ones you need to watch out for most of the time. Do you think that could have ended up you? Do you think you could have ended up there? You were a pretty lonely dude when we met.
I was lonely, but it's like in high school.
Yeah.
I was oblivious to most of the, I don't know, like peer pressure.
Thank you, autism.
I got along with the popular people.
Yeah.
Because I was in AP physics with all the like really popular smart kids.
All the popular kids were in AP physics. Your high school was very different from my
There were
high
a few
school.
of them. Like the valedictorian was also like a sports star. And so there was a weird mix. And I also got along with the sports people because I ran track. And I got along with the nerdy people because I read books and I was in programming classes.
Yeah.
And so my friend group was like all the misfits. But then other people that I went to high school with were so preoccupied with maintaining a good impression that they just suffered for it. And I was just there vibing. I bought D&D books off of a guy from band. I was in with the band crowd because I played trumpet. And
I kind of got around, if you know what I mean.
I was all over the place, like you would expect with someone someone with severe ADHD.
But do you think you were blindly unaware of how people felt about you, and then that? Well, you know what? It's not apples to apples, because the level of social anxiety that men experience right now is much higher because you were not comparing yourself to anybody on social media. But also reading through these magazines, I will say a lot of the male narrative isn't necessarily the same, but the female narrative is.
I would say my brother, who had a similar span of like things he did, he was probably more susceptible to it because he was preoccupied with being perceived as cool. And one of my brother's friends told me one time that I was cooler than my brother because I didn't try to be cool. But my brother tried so hard to be cool that it made him not cool. And I was like, oh, okay, thanks. Back to my whatever I was doing.
That feels a little bit like early cringe culture. The idea of trying too hard makes you uncool. But like if you're cool without trying, that's way better. But that's a treatise and a soapbox that I don't need to roll out today, because this would be fully 5 hours long if you ask me to talk about how I feel about cringe culture.
So there's a chance,
naturally good at it culture.
There's a chance that I could have been sucked in if a person that I felt close to was in that and drew me in, then I could have gotten into it.
Okay, well, here's the scenario. You graduate high school and all of the people either leave. Most of the people leave or stay behind. Some stay behind, but most leave.
Mm-hmm.
And over time, you grow apart. And then you're just working a regular job, because when we met, you were not in a position to move on and get a white collar job, so to speak. And so you're stuck
in college.
For now. You were in college for now. And I think you could. I don't want to take all the credit. I think you would definitely. You did it. I didn't do it, first of all, because when we met, you were on academic probation. That's an important clarification. And you were one semester away from losing literally everything, effectively being kicked out of college. And so you got yourself back on track. I didn't do that. I provided external support, but I didn't do
Right.
the work for you. You did the work. But I could see a scenario where you graduated high school, your mom moved you to an entirely new place where you knew nobody, and you had no one. And you lived in an era where people did not meet and talk to each other in real life in the way that they did when we were kids.
Yeah.
And I could see you falling into a group of people that you felt were similar to you and who ended up leading you into a place of radicalization.
Yeah.
The way a lot of young men now are radicalized. And effectively, that's what we're getting here from this guy. Just he got a job here, he came here, but he's not really great at his job, and he's gotten several disciplinary notes because he's busy building bombs instead of doing his job. And they're literally having this conversation, and he's like, great, now we're going to play this by the book. And then they're like, somebody just rewrote the book, which is my favorite thing, is having time to make a pithy quip before we move out of the imminent life or death situation. Because I was burping when I said that. Because as he's saying, somebody just rewrote the book, there's an explosion and it's like coming down the hallway. And they're like, hit the deck. And so he's like, wow, that guy's got a really bad temper. Okay. And then they end up getting Sheridan to go to this guy. And at first, he's going to put the link inside of his shirt. And Garibaldi's like, no, he's going to check that. You have to put it somewhere else. And he's like, where? And Garibaldi just does like a whoop, whoop, like whoop, whoop eyebrow thing. And Sheridan goes, ugh. And then he clearly tucks it down somewhere from the front, which later when he sits down.
I thought it looked like he reached around to his butt cheek.
To me, it looks like he puts it on his testicles. Like it looks like he tucks it.
I think he puts his left hand like at his belt buckle as he because he twists a little bit, and his right hand with the comm in it goes behind his pants.
Okay, I went full junk. I was like, oh, he's sticking that to his penis because no homo, no man's touching that to take. He'd be
especially not an incel.
No, if he'd done that, it wouldn't have beeped when he sat down.
Yeah,
but he was like, I can't put it on my junk. That's not right. It's fine. He could have put it on his junk.
Although if it's swinging around in his pants,
yeah,
it could have accidentally activated.
Depending on what he's working with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is he working with, is he a shower? Is he a grower? What are we working with here? Are we swinging? Are we sort of, is he high and tight? Like, I don't know. I don't know. Is he boxers? Is he briefs? I need information. Like, I need further clarification for why. Anyway, he sticks it between his butt cheeks, basically, but not exactly because
I think it's just on his butt cheek. At first, I thought, he stuck it like in his butt cracker up his butt.
You know what? No. Headcanon, he sticks it to his testicles, but they hang so low when he sits down, they beep anyway. He's warm. Mm-hmm. He's moist.
He's stressed.
Everything's hanging low. It's away from the heat of his body. Wait, when you're stressed, don't they come?
Yeah.
In?
I was about to say that. When you're stressed, they come up so they don't get in the way.
Switch to sport mode.
It's like the supersonic jets that have the wings that fold back.
We're gonna need to be aerodynamic, boys. High and tight. We're going north for the winter. We get so much mileage out of testicles on these podcasts, and I love it so much.
Almost as much mileage as Stephen King.
Almost. You know what, honestly? No. He's leagues, hundreds of miles ahead of us. We could make dick jokes for 2 hours and not be caught up.
Yep.
Not even remotely. No. You know what I love about Stephen King, and I've said this in our Stephen King podcasts, and this is a plug for our Strange and Beautiful Book Club episodes, which is that he never fails to mention what happens to a man's testicles during an emotional
in some situation. Yep.
situation. He's like, You know what would
It's
happen
a
to me?
visceral description of the experience of being a man in a stressful situation.
He's writing for men.
Yeah.
Stephen King writes for men. And if women read it, cool. But if men read it, they get it. They're like, hell yeah, my testicles would tingle during that situation.
It's a very efficient way to convey a lot of significance.
Yeah. I mean, I respect it. Okay. He's like,
he commits to the bit.
He's like, this is what would be happening to my physical body during this emotional situation. I'm going to describe that.
Yep.
Do I have a heart on? Do I have tingly testicles? Are they literally clenching in anxiety? Sure. I'm going to write that.
Yep.
You know what? I respect. I was talking to somebody about the end of Forever Night.
Okay.
And I'm not going to spoil it if you haven't watched Forever Night. You totally should, by the way. This is another plug for our Common 81 Kilo podcast where we talk about all of Forever Night. But the end of Forever Night is a singularly bold choice on the part of the writers. And it gets panned a lot because it's not the ending you want.
Right.
But I respect the audacity that led them to believe that they could end it that way. And if they had just ended it the way they ended season 1 or season 2, which was just on a whatever note, it would be an okay vampire show that ended and
that got canceled.
And it got canceled. Whatever.
Yeah.
But they made a choice to end it
on their terms.
In the most singularly spectacular way that you could end a television show. And I respect the fuck out of the courage it took to make all of those decisions.
Yeah.
To go full scorched earth was a choice. And I respect it. I do, because they weren't looking at the bottom line. They were like, we're going to end it right now.
Do you also respect Sheridan for sticking a communicator up his butt?
Are you trying to get me back to Babylon 5?
Yes.
No. No. No! Drag me kicking and screaming back to the actual
We'll jack up the volume.
Plot.
We'll be able to tell what you had for lunch.
My headcanon is he stuck it on the back of his big swinging sack, sir.
Then why did you say we'll be able to tell what you had for lunch?
I don't know, maybe digestive tract goes through there if it's big enough. He's like, it's so big. I got a loop of intestine.
You can
just
get a hernia.
That. See?
Into the scrotum.
And he was like, honestly, I like the way it looks. I'm not going to get that fixed. And everybody knows it. You just nod. You're like, I respect that. I respect that so deeply. Anyway, whatever. He goes in to talk to the guy, the bomber guy. And when he walks in, he's on the video. Like, he's on the TV as he's walking in.
Yes, Sheridan is.
Like, he's got a camera
the guy has
fixed
a camera
on the door.
pointed at the door.
This guy has a camera. Nobody else can have. We can't have security cameras, but this guy can have security cameras. And this is the part where they blah 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 blah. I'm lonely. I planted a bomb. It makes me feel not dead inside. Whatever. And what he's asking for, none of this really matters, honestly.
Yeah.
Everything else in this entire episode matters except for this. And the thing that matters is there's no exit strategy for this guy.
Right.
Which I guess is supposed to be playing into he's just a dumb dude
who's lashing out.
Who's lashing out in the most spectacular way possible.
Yeah.
And he thought he could get away with it because he's been a moderately attractive white man his entire life. And he's never had to actually fail at anything. So he's like, just give me a ship, I'll be fine. And they're like, we're going to know what ship you're on. And all I have to do is tell literally every port what ship you're on. And they're going to just arrest you when you get there. Right? And he's like, shut up.
If you're lucky.
He's like, shut up. I don't want to talk about it. Shut up. I thought through that. I mean, that's not that hard. I mean, it kind of feels like JMS is trying to say something bigger. And he's using this somewhat dumb plot to say it to us, but also maybe this was just he needed a filler episode. I don't know. I'm on the fence because there's moments in this episode that are really brilliant. The main plot's not one of them. Like,
No.
it's a vehicle for all the other things that happen that are amazing, but it in itself is not amazing. And my
I think
favorite...
it's a little bit of a subversion of the expectation of there's a serial bomber on the station. Like, what's their motive? What's the bigger thing that they are trying to accomplish? And then, oh no, it was just some lonely dude.
Yeah. Sometimes people are just douchebags.
Yeah.
Yeah. The best part of this entire scene, or the part that stuck with me the most, is when the guy literally shoots at Sheridan's head and Garibaldi's like, oh no, he's fine. Don't go in yet.
He's not going to kill his
He's
audience.
not going to kill his audience. The number of assumptions.
Right?
Just bold
But
ass.
don't you respect the audacity
Of who?
of Garibaldi
Of being like, he doesn't need
to
to save him.
assume that he knows this guy so well that he can conclude, no, Sheridan's not actually in danger.
Listen, sometimes the audacity is warranted and
Yeah.
respectable.
Right.
And sometimes the audacity is just, what the fuck? You thought you knew what was happening? You clearly did not know what was happening.
You misunderstood the situation so hard.
This guy shot at Sheridan's head. He could shoot Sheridan and then be like, okay, bring me the next one in command. He just needs an audience. It doesn't have to be Sheridan. Although granted, at this moment, he doesn't know that other people are listening.
Right. And so we're cutting back and forth. They conclude, oh, he has something that's going to destroy the whole station. That's not going to be in his room. What else? What could he do? Oh, blow up the reactor.
Yeah.
Let's look for a bomb on the reactor. And so then we're
Luckily,
cutting back
it pays
and forth
off. Yeah.
from the security crew doing an EVA. Apparently, the security crew is EVA certified.
I wonder if it would be better if this guy actually had any legitimate reason for doing all of this. Because he literally just says, they like it when you're afraid, and it's my turn to make other people afraid because I got fired and they took away my apartment. And all they said was, it's nothing personal. It's just the times. All he did was he got let go. He got let go, you guys.
Yeah.
And he
Lost his job and his
housing.
wife and his child and his dog and his pickup truck.
He lost his job, his apartment. He couldn't pay the bills. And then he got fired and they took his apartment. I mean, that's literally, he's having like a bad month. And he was like, you know what I should probably do? Ship myself to Babylon 5 and blow up Babylon 5.
I feel like he went to Babylon 5 with a sense of hope. And the same thing happened where now he's failing at everything he's trying to do, but now he's not even on Earth.
Okay, maybe headcanon would be better this way. He was intercepted by someone who could take advantage of his vulnerable state and then sent to Babylon 5.
Zathras.
Zathras would never. Don't even demean Zathras in that. Get his name out of your mouth. Bester.
Yeah,
Earth,
somebody mentally unstable.
Earth is basically lousy with telepaths. They're all evil. We know that.
Mm-hmm. Especially Bester.
What if he ran afoul of, like, what if your exit interview from a company now includes a telepath?
Ooh.
In the same way that, like, Talia used to
and
sit
they're
in
just
on business
screening for sleeper
negotiations.
agents
Yeah.
to program.
And they just gave him that extra push of like...
And we know Earth Alliance wants Babylon 5 gone.
Yeah.
Because it's just a nuisance right now.
Maybe they're doing that to literally every white dude that's getting fired prematurely, just in the hopes that it will just like trigger some latent personality trait and just fire them off
and
at Babylon 5.
They just seed them with do something destructive.
Right.
Make them pay for how much you were embarrassed.
And it requires a certain personality type. Like not everybody is going to be like, yeah, I should murder people so that they'll feel bad about me losing my job.
Mm-hmm.
But even if it's 1 in 100, you're going to get one guy who's going to fly off to Babylon 5 to blow shit up.
Eventually, you're going to get a hit.
I think that's a better story
Yeah.
than this guy being like, I got sad. And
I was sad and lonely, and I wanted everybody else to be sad and lonely too.
So I made other people sad so that they would know what it felt like to be sad.
And that makes me feel better. No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. It wasn't about feeling better. It was about everybody being sad too. So I think it's better if it's like, oh, this guy was like, he didn't have a political agenda because he didn't even know he was a weapon.
Yeah.
He was manipulated. I like that. That's a good story.
So they find the bomb.
Oh, yeah. No, it's totally, yeah.
Robert Carlson forces Sheridan to sit down and becomes aware of the communicator.
Yeah, because as soon as he sits down, it goes, beep, beep. No.
And
in the middle, wait.
Hold on, and then they fight. And I like I made a note that Sheridan must be catching up on Sinclair's notes.
Yes, Sinclair smashes him.
He punches Carlson with his own hand.
He does, and he's like whoop-poo, and the guy almost dies.
It's not that effective.
It's close.
Then there's the second. There's Sheridan's first attempt at the Sinclair smash, and it's But then after the guy drops the dead man switch, then he really winds up for a full Sinclair smash.
Oh, he does the whole shoulder tilt back, whoop, like the Popeye whoop, whoop,
Whoop.
where he would swirl his arm and he's like shaboof, and he Sinclair smashes him. Wait, there's one thing in the middle here.
Mm-hmm.
You skipped, and I want to talk about it. And it is another giant assumption on Garibaldi's part because they find the bomb, and he's like, "Oh yeah, he doesn't have vibration detectors. He's not a pro."
Oh yeah, that's a bold assumption. But he's also working under a time crunch.
And if it blows up, they die. If they don't remove it, it blows up, they die. So yeah. I do like when the guy starts screaming, "It's not fair. It's not fair." Oh my God. It's not fair. It feels so dumb. Do you think this character was supposed to feel pathetic?
The Robert Carlson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think so? You think he was supposed to feel like just some random?
I think he was supposed to end up feeling pitiable.
Not pathetic.
Pathetic.
Pathetic. Yeah. Not pitiable, but pathetic. Because I think this was supposed to be like, look how tiny and small and gross this man is.
Mm-hmm. He's
hurting all these people for fucking what? I'm going to go with that because I like that. The people lashing out.
This is a demonstration of how small.
Yeah. He doesn't make him.
Hurtful people are.
He doesn't make him this enviably complex villain character. He's literally like a pathetic little bitch.
Yeah.
He's a pathetic little bitch.
He's throwing a tantrum.
Who's throwing a tantrum, and he's killing people. And it's gross, and it's stupid, and it's small. And I think that's the point.
Yeah.
Because, we get into this trap where we want every villain to be like...
Oh, the power scaling trap?
Yeah. You want him to be like, oh, just this enviably... Mastermind, like super villain, conniving, almost enviably smart and powerful and thoughtful and deliberate. But I'm gonna choose to believe this was a good move of creating an absolutely pathetic little stupid little villain.
Pathetic little whiny shit.
And he created all of this chaos. And really, who was he? He was nothing. He's going to disappear, and we're never even going to hear about him again.
Yeah.
And he was just worthless. And his reasonings were stupid. And it was pathetic and small and pointless. And he had no business harming anyone because of something that happens to pretty much everybody at least once in their life.
Yep.
I like it. I changed everything I said about how I thought this whole subplot was dumb. I love it now. I love it now because we don't get the just little shits anymore.
Right.
Everybody's all, I'm the perfect villain.
Right.
I am so
Every
smart.
episode, you have to be tackling a bigger villain.
And I'm so smart, and I'm outwitting the good guy at every turn, and I have a political agenda, and you're slightly morally conflicted about whether my political agenda should be yours or whether you should actually be rooting for the good guy because you can kind of identify with me because my reasoning is so astute. I mean, there's a place for that. But also there's sometimes people hurt people because they're pathetic little bitches.
Yeah.
And that happens too. All right. I like it better now. Thank you for being here with me for this revelation.
So we continue on, and we get a little snip of Jakar and Londo, both collapsed, suffocating in the elevator.
Yeah.
And then we just move away.
I know. They're like,
what's going to happen to him?
Jakar's like, yes, I hope I live long enough just to see Londo die. And then we come back to Lanier in the
med lab.
And hey, guess what, guys? He fine. And we know this because Dr. Franklin, in a really weird moment, decides to tell a joke.
Right?
He's
this
like,
feels
hey.
out of character. Like, I appreciate the punchline that the Lanier gets to finish the joke and signal to everybody that he's awake now.
Yeah.
But this joke does not feel in character for Dr. Franklin.
No. He's like, oh, so I just delivered some really hard news for you. Would you like to hear a joke about the Centauri? Whatever. It's so Lanier gets to finish the joke. And they're like, oh, welcome back. How do you feel? And he says, as though a great many heavy objects had fallen on me, which is the pithy answer I wanted from the last episode when he was in the White Star. And he was like, prepare for a monologue.
Yeah.
And he gave us a monologue. But I suspect I will live. And this is the first time we've heard anything referred to as the Centaurum. Did you notice that?
Mm-hmm.
The Centaurum will probably want to give you a medal for this. And he's like, oh, I should have stayed in a coma. And this is the part where he's like, I did what I did because life is sacred. But when the object of your actions does not share that belief, I fear I have served the present by sacrificing the future.
I wrote big oof.
Oh, yeah, that was a moment of this is a moment you don't fully appreciate right at first, but as time goes on, you're like, oh.
And maybe this is why JMS had Lanier make the other decision the next time he has this opportunity.
I feel like when that comes up, that's going to be a lot.
Right, because the
We're
last
gonna have
time
a lot to talk about.
He did have an opportunity to let a war criminal die and prevent further suffering, but he saved that person.
But ultimately,
because of his ideals.
I want to put a pin in this as something we can talk about after the entire series is over.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not sure that letting Londo die would have prevented further harm.
No, I don't think it.
I think it might have
from the
caused future harm.
Yeah, from the narrow perspective of Lanier's view on what Londo did and Londo in that moment, it could be a reasonable decision to let Londo die.
Yeah.
From the information that he has.
Oh,
but
absolutely. Yeah.
Knowing that, contrary to how other TV shows operated in the 90s, this show, we're going to have such drastic character growth for pretty much everybody over the next 3 seasons that you can't just assume that this character is going to stay the same for the next several years.
No, not even a little bit.
So it'll be surprising. Probably it's surprising to Lanier how much Londo changes, but
I think a post-mortem for this series is going to be necessary.
Yeah.
Because these are moments that if you revisit, have a lot more meaning.
Mm-hmm.
Because Londo's story's not done, and it's not even remotely straightforward.
Right.
And we come back to Jakar and Londo, and this is when they find them, and Jakar's like, fucking no! God damn it. He's so mad. And they get them out, and he's like, see, I'm going to live. So it would seem. Well, it is an imperfect universe. And Londo says, bastard. And Jakar goes, monster. And
Fanatic. Murderer.
You're insane. And that is why we will win. Go be the ambassador to Babylon 5, they said. It will be an easy assignment. I hate my life, Jakar says. So do I. And Londo goes, shut up. And that is the end of the episode. Okay, I feel so much better having had the revelation about how sometimes a villain needs to be a little bitch.
Yeah. As a commentary on little bitches lashing out at people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how sometimes being a villain does not give you this heroic, anti-heroic status or anything. Sometimes it just makes you even more pathetic. And okay, all right, you know what? I've made my peace with this episode now. I feel a lot better about it.
There is a moral to the story.
There is a good moral, I think. Yeah. Yeah, I'm happy with how that ended.
Good.
Do you have anything more you want to say about this episode?
Nope. On to the next one.
I'll just end with, did you know we had a Patreon? I don't plug it. I never plug it, but it turns out that when you tell people you have a thing, they go and find it. It's fucking wild. I don't know. So I'm like trying to post over there. Oh my God. It must be like watching a toddler try to take its first steps. I'm like, look, guys, here's a photo. I did post some photos of our newspapers, and I posted posted a photo of the definitely haunted baby onesie that we found in the walls.
Packed in the wall with the newspaper.
Which we are going to reinter because there is 0% chance it is not inhabited by a demon. So it's going back in the walls like as respectfully as possible.
It was there for a reason.
It's got to go back, right? You had it on the floor and you were like stepping over it as you were walking back and forth. And I was like, no. Pick it up. We have to respect. Like, we can't. No, honey. Do you want us to die? We're going to be like the Amityville Horror. Like, that's how this is going to end. So luckily, I saved us from near annihilation by having you pick the baby onesie up.
Yeah.
But if you want to see a photo of that, it's on Patreon. And luckily for everybody, I keep everything free because at one point I promised that. And unlike the Minbari, I don't actually lie. I mean, I lie sometimes. That's not true, but I try to be pretty straightforward about my intentions. So we do have a Patreon. We do have a Ko-Fi. The links are always in the show notes. Always, always, always. We have Come in 81 Kilo that talks about Forever Night. We have Strange and Beautiful Book Club, which was talking about books. And I think we used to do
a rotation
Book Club of the Month. And then we did movies in the interim.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're going to go back to doing that. That's not a promise. But we're going to be doing movies per month for a bit until we kind of recover from trying to get through the entire Dune series, which, let me tell you, almost fucking killed me. In fact, I just posted Chapter House yesterday or today. Mm-hmm. So if you are interested in listening to us bitch and moan for hours, do listen to the Dune series. Mm-hmm. Actually, the first 3, super complimentary. We love it. The last 3, it's me going, why? And then the last book, it's Space Jews. What the fuck are you talking about? There's Space Jews. Literally. I mean, I can't even.
That's not an exaggeration.
It's not an exaggeration. There's actual Space Jews. So I think that's probably a good place to leave it.
You start it.
No, you say we live for the one.
And I say we would die for the one.
Oh, is that how it goes? Yeah. We live for the one.
We would die for the one.
Until next time, friends.
Bye.
Bye.